Yo, yo. Welcome in, everybody. How we doing tonight,
Yo,
guys?
yo.
What's popping?
What's going on?
All right, so we're just going to go straight into it. We're just going to go straight to the intro, and then let's get back into our conversation. I'll edit all this part out. Don't worry about it. All right. All right, welcome to Gamer Actual, the weekly podcast that talks about the biggest in gaming news. You can find us on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, with a visual version of this podcast being available on youtube.com/gameractual. Now, if it's your first time here, I'm your host, Cash, and with me tonight, I got our esteemed co-host, Maury Heartless, and the one and only friend of the show, Tresonator. Trez, what's good? Welcome
Yo.
in, bro.
You said
Welcome.
he's the
What's
one and
going on,
only
guys?
friend of the show?
Huh?
You said he's the one and only friend of the show?
Not the one and only friend of the show, the one and only Trez. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Friend of the show, the one and only Trez.
You guys got many
How does
friends
it
of the
go?
show. I know. I can
Nice.
see them chatting in the chat right now.
Got a lot of friends.
Exactly. We got a lot of friends of the show. If that's what I said, I misspoke, chat. My bad. So we love y'all. Well, welcome in. Trez, how you doing, bro? How you been?
I'm good. I'm actually going to Germany on Tuesday for for Oktoberfest.
Oh, nice.
So I will need some Steam Deck recommendations for when I'm on the plane and or trains.
Dude,
Oh,
this is
okay.
awesome. This is so okay. So I have to say this real quick. Trez, that's wild. So both of my parents were in the military for 20 years a pop. Both of them were in Germany for 4 years a pop.
Okay.
And so, yeah, Oktoberfest was a huge thing for me growing up. We had all like the mugs that you would get at Oktoberfest. Yes, all over the house. We still have them to this day. So that's actually sick. I've always wanted to go to Oktoberfest in Germany. That's dope.
Nice.
That's
Thanks.
cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
How
Yeah.
long does that actually happen? Is it for the entire month of October? Or
The
just like,
festival, I think it just started this past yesterday, just started Saturday, and it goes until the first weekend in October. So it's like 3 weeks, I think. It's 3 weekends, I know that.
Yeah.
So I'm
okay,
going to
that's
be there
cool.
for the second weekend, like right in the middle.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I felt like the beginning and the end are probably way more packed than like the middle weekend, so that's why I chose that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, Trez, I know you haven't been here for a while, and we're gonna ask you that question. What games are you playing?
I am still playing The Witcher 3. I am at like
Listen,
the
I know.
very end of
Yeah.
Blood and Wine. I
Oh,
think
cool.
I'm definitely over 100 hours.
So you're playing the expansion.
Yes, I'm playing the
Okay.
expansion. I have currently
That makes sense.
199.7 hours.
Good lord.
So I have
Wow.
almost 200 hours on The Witcher 3.
Wow.
It's a good amount of
You're getting
time,
your
though.
money's
Out
worth.
of the game. That's
You're getting
you
your
know,
money's worth.
That's game of the year talk right there.
You know, I bought the whole trilogy on Steam like
Mhm.
back when it was on sale, $10. $10
Wow.
for the whole trilogy. And I've played through one,
Wow.
I played through two, and now I'm at the end of 3. So I definitely got my money's worth there.
That's crazy.
Steam is undefeated.
I am
Steam or GOG?
definitely
GOG is
gonna buy
actually
that
pretty.
next sale. If there's a sale like that again, I'm gonna cop that.
It's like every quarter I feel like that it goes on sale.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can probably get it for like $10.
Yeah, that's it.
GOG is goated as well when it comes to that too. Like getting games for like super cheap, like
Yeah.
classic games. Yeah,
Mm.
because I saw Soul Reaver on GOG for like $2, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm buying that right now. Yeah, $2, bro. Come on.
Outside of that though, I've been playing Deadlock. Shout out to Cash. I think you actually gave me
The code, yeah. I
the
sent you a
code.
link on
Yeah.
code, yeah. How you liking it?
I don't really like MOBAs, but
No.
I enjoy it. And it
Yeah.
frustrates me because I want to be good, but I'm really bad.
That's how it
I
goes.
feel like
though.
there's a lot happening in Deadlock that
Yeah.
I just can't seem to wrap my
And
brain
you have
around
to
yet
like
because
build
I'm
your
not so,
character. Yeah, it's rough.
I'm not used to that because I don't think I've never played a MOBA prior to that. So it's like
Wow.
it's a lot to take in.
Yeah. You guys know I was a religious smite player like early high
Yeah.
school. Like it was terrible. Getting good at a MOBA with all that detail, it takes like 100 hours. It's a pain. It's a pain.
It's too
Yeah.
much to think about.
So much. So you cannot like kick back and enjoy that game. Like it's a chore. Like
And then you gotta
you're
watch
actively in a
guys
class.
that you don't even play. just to learn how
Right.
the game really works.
There's a lot of research that
It's
you
a
have
lot
to
of
do.
research.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoyed about Overwatch, though. I know it's not a MOBA, but when you have characters with different kits, I enjoyed like the aspect of things countering things, and you have to like learn that. That's on top of being a skilled player, you have to learn things that force you to make decisions, think strategically. My abilities are not going to be his abilities right now. Must retreat. If you don't retreat, you get beat.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's facts. That's facts. So yeah, guys. This week we got like a lot of games that came out this week. Maury, you want to fill us in on some of the games that came out?
Of course, folks. A pretty good week, I'd say overall. Nothing too terribly exciting, but not as boring as some weeks. Opening up, we had Final Fantasy 16 re-release for the PC on September 17th. As most of you probably know, Final Fantasy 16 was a time PlayStation 5 exclusive, but it's here and it's on the PC. What is Final Fantasy 16, you might ask? An epic dark fantasy where fates are decided by mighty icons and the dominants who wield them. This is the tale of Clive Rossfield, a tragic warrior who swears revenge on the dark icon Efreet. I got that right. A mysterious entity that leaves naught but calamity in its wake. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy 16 when it came out on the PS5. I actually have like the special edition. I spent like $110 on it. I played the game for like 3 hours. I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, but the game is super visually impressive. Have you guys played Final Fantasy 16? Do you have any opinions?
we need to hear more about the 3 hours. But let them do the thing.
Me? You want to hear more about 3 hours?
Yeah, they can answer your question, but I want to hear more about why you only played 3 hours afterwards.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
what about you? Have you played Final Fantasy?
I
Any of them?
despise Final Fantasy.
Jesus. That's strong. That's some strong words. For Final Fantasy, bro.
No, I don't like turn-based games. I know the new ones aren't really turn-based, but like
Yeah, it's not turn-based.
back in the
But
day, I never got into it. And I also don't like JRPGs. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that on this podcast before.
Why is he on the show? Just kidding.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not a
interesting.
fan of. I was never a fan of Final Fantasy like that either.
It's just not for me. I get it.
Stop
I get it.
Stop it.
Not only that,
I need to talk. You guys are clearly hating. Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I love Final Fantasy. Played Final Fantasy 7, played 9, played 10, played 10-2, played Tactics Advance, played Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3, Chain of Memories. I love what Square Enix does, although I have to say Kingdom Hearts has gone off the deep end with how convoluted the game got. But anyways, you guys know me. I'm a cheap bastard, but over the last few, I'd say weeks or months, you guys kind of have opened up my heart into games. It doesn't have to just be Street Fighter. So, I cop God of War. I cop Callisto Protocol.
Let's go.
I'm getting my hands on more games, and I have decided that I'm going to buy this game at some point.
Wow.
I'm going to buy this game at some point. It is visually beautiful, but I want to hear from you what it is about this game, mechanic-wise specifically, that you could not get behind. Because I know you love so many RPG games.
Yes. Yeah, dude. Well, and that's what's so funny. I think I'm with Trez. I've never been a turn-based guy. And I know this one is it's the first time it's not turn-based. I played a lot of Fire Emblem growing up, though, so it's not all turn-based games. It's just most turn-based games. For whatever reason, I felt like the combat just felt super subpar. It was super uninteresting. It didn't pull me in. The combat just didn't do it for me. And what you're looking at on screen looks dope. I didn't feel any of that.
It does.
Is it elemental counters?
I don't even know. Bro,
Okay.
3 hours in, I couldn't tell you shit about this game. And the cutscenes were cool. The story was cool. The world was
visually
cool.
beautiful. Always been ahead of their time with the cutscenes.
Very. And I mean, I think I will go back and visit it. Final Fantasy has never been my cup of tea. I don't know what it is about those games. They can have a different tone, different atmosphere, but they've just never spoken to me. I don't know.
I have to play the game, and I have to figure out if the story is truly beautiful. One of the things about Final Fantasy that made them such dope games was just the beauty in the stories. If you guys have played Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy 8 or Final Fantasy 10, those are like the popular ones. If you guys have played those, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, the depth and the way they catch you emotionally. If this game has that, it's still not going to win Game of the Year. But if it has that, If it has that, it could be a really, really, really dope game, and it could be one of the bigger ones for Square Enix. Who knows? Who
So
knows?
initially for me, when I first learned about Final Fantasy, I think that was during like the Super Nintendo days, because that's when it really got started. But like later on, I had a lot of friends that were big Final Fantasy fans. So when it got to like 7 and 8 and 9, I was like, no, I don't want to play this, because I was like overwhelmed. Like, do I have to play these prior games? Because I thought it was just a continuation. I didn't realize it was an anthology series. So I
Right.
thought it was a continuation. I'm like, yo, y'all are wait. Yeah, this feels like One Piece for me. I'm not gonna be watching this. I'm sorry. I'm not playing this. I'm not. But
Sure.
Bello, shout out to Bello Legends. He was like, nah, it's an anthology. You should try it out. And I might give it a shot, because I actually got, which one did I got? I think it was the Final Fantasy 7, I think, remake.
Is Cloud
I
in it?
have it. Yeah, it's the one with Cloud. I have it,
Okay.
but I just haven't played it yet.
You got the first one that came out
The
of
first
the
one,
remake.
the first one.
Okay.
But I haven't touched it yet.
See, I want to say something. Number one, to clarify to what Heartless asked, like, is the story great? The story's awesome. The story of the game is amazing, even from what I experienced in my limited time with it. The story is
That's
going to hold
crazy.
well.
They got you reeled in with the story that early.
Totally.
Wow.
It's
Okay,
great.
cool.
It's great. I'm similar. Like, I don't know. I've tried to love Final Fantasy for over a decade now. So if you remember the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy that came out, every
Yeah.
time the next game in that series came out, I bought it at launch and tried to play it. Couldn't get into it. I played 14 online. Couldn't get into it. Bought 15 at launch. Couldn't get into it. Bought 16 at launch. Couldn't get
Damn.
into it. Played the 7 remake. Couldn't get into it. Like, I have given Final Fantasy a dozen tries over the last decade, and I don't like it. And I'm just saying that because I know we have some Final Fantasy fans in here. I want you to know I did my due diligence. I gave your nerd shit a chance, and it's not for me, bro. It's
He's a
not for
soldier.
me. It's not for me. It's not. I've tried. But I'll come back. We'll see.
At least
Yeah.
you try, Maury. I'm not even. I
He's
don't
a
even
soldier. He
I'm
tries.
willing to give it a shot. I'm probably gonna try a Final Fantasy 7 remake at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else that came out this
No.
week?
Oh, well, there was
Yeah.
other stuff that came out this week. Yes.
Mhm.
We also had the Plucky Squire, which released on the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC on September 17th. My understanding is that it came to PS Plus as a PS Plus title.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're a PS Plus subscriber, you can play it right now.
I hear a
little
lot
bit
of people like it.
I've heard good stuff about it. I've heard some people give it closer to like a 7, but I've heard some people really
Mhm.
enjoying like the art style specifically.
I was watching Jake Twitching play it. Shout out to Jake Twitching, because
This reminds me of
again,
Cuphead almost, but not really.
it reminds you of what?
Yeah, the game Cuphead. You ever seen that game?
Oh yeah, it
Love-
kind of does
love
remind you
Cuphead.
of Cuphead. But
Yeah.
this
A
is
lot of
like
people
it
love that game.
blends. This blends 3D and 2D.
Yeah, it does.
Which is crazy, and I think it's very inventive. I now like that. I like games like breaking the mold like that. I really love that.
Sure.
'Cause this is more like Zelda. If you look at the gameplay for our audio listeners, if you see the gameplay, it looks like it borrows from a lot of different genres, like different games as you watch it. So there is the Zelda look at the game, and then there's also like the 3D platforming aspects of the game. I think it's super dope.
Yeah, I like I said, I love the art style, and I love seeing games that like are going to stand this test of time just because they did something unique and creative.
Mhm.
We talk about it a lot, how realism in games usually within 5 years ages pretty poorly. So I love
Right.
seeing games like this where the art style, like, I'm going to be able to play this in 10 years and it's still going to look great because it was a unique art style.
Mhm.
Yeah, I hope to hop in and give it a try. I've heard good things.
This
So
This kind of reminds me of Tinykin. If anybody knows what Tinykin is, you guys should really try Tinykin out. It's an amazing game. It's fun. It's pretty similar to this, where you play some kind of like explorer who ends up on an alien planet. But it seems to me that what happens is he's shrunken, and because he's so small, the world just looks like an alien planet to him. But if you observe, like if you look at the environment, you'll realize like, wait a minute, this is someone's bedroom. Wait a minute, this is someone's kitchen. And that's how it's like the background. Everything is in the periphery. So if you stop and like really pay attention to the environment, you realize what's actually happening. So it's super dope. Like stuff like that, bro.
Trez, is this on your radar at all? Heartless,
Yeah, I
is this
actually
on your
just
radar?
wishlisted it. I just wishlisted
Really?
it on Steam. Yeah, as we were talking about it.
Bro, look at this. You don't think that's inventive, bro?
No, yeah, this looks great.
Hmm.
This is the first time I'm actually hearing about this game, but this looks like right up my alley for an indie game.
Yes,
Dope.
I'm getting this. I am getting it.
Dope. Heartless, what about you? Is it doing anything for you?
Well, yeah, I like it. It looks really cool. I don't know, like you know how you said you put 3 hours in Final Fantasy and then you put it down, never picked it up.
Yeah.
This game kind of looks like it runs the risk of that for me. It's very innovative though, and I like the art style a lot. I have to give the gameplay a shot. How much is the game?
Is it
On
30?
Steam, it is. Hold on, I just had the window open. It is $29.99.
Yep.
I'll maybe wait for a sale.
So whatever my score was before just doubled.
Oh wow.
Why?
Just doubled.
Because it
he's
was
cheap.
cheaper.
When the price
You
goes
cheap
half,
bastard.
you gotta get mad.
Heartless is so easy to please, bro. If you show him a game that looks good and then he starts to even have the slightest interest in it, the moment you tell him that it's not $60 or $70, he's just ecstatic. He's over the fucking moon
Yeah.
about it.
Yes,
So
once
funny.
it's not the
I mean,
standard price.
Yeah,
I'm
Yes.
over the moon.
I don't blame you. I do the same thing. Shit goes on sale on Steam, and I'm just like, oh, it's like $5. I'll just buy it, and then I won't play it for like 3 years. But
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
But yeah,
No, I had to buy
I
the
think we
Spider-Man Legacy games because they were on sale. I didn't finish them yet, but I needed them. So when I want to finish them, they're there.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, I can see me playing this at some point this week. I might play this. This might get added. Might get added to the
None of us
docket.
have it.
I'm gonna get it.
I have it. I just haven't
I'm
played it
going
yet.
to.
Okay.
Really?
We
Then you
need
should
we
play
need
it
to
on
hear more
stream,
from
and
you.
we in a voice chat. You should play it
Yeah.
on stream, and we can have a conversation, kind of like
Th-
a pilot episode of Playcast Live.
That'd be fun. I'd be down to do that. Yeah, because like I said, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what we're gonna do. I think it's gonna be a history of PlayStation over the next.
I'm getting
couple months. But
reports from the
see.
producer that it's
Mhm.
included in PS Plus.
Yeah, Maury just mentioned
Yeah.
that as well too.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a game.
No, but it's okay. We can't control everything here at Gamer Actual, guys.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm
You
sorry.
can't get an ad blocker.
What?
How do you
No.
do that?
You can get an
I think
ad
we
block,
just
but
need a
there-
YouTube Premium subscription.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
just down to getting that. We're gonna get one.
That's
Yeah.
funny. That's funny.
But anyways, anything else, Maury? Like again, final thoughts about Plucky Squire. What do you guys think?
I'll be playing.
Yeah, Heartless.
Yeah, I'll take a shot.
Heartless says he's gonna give it a shot.
Listen, if
so-
I have a good month on Steam after I cop the Marvel collection, you never know. Anything can happen.
Okay. All right, and Trez is gonna get it. So we're
It's on my
all in
wish list.
agreement. We're all in agreement that this is something that we're gonna be playing.
At the very
Um,
least, interesting.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. So yeah, Maury, give us the last game for the week.
Yeah. One more pretty significant title came out. For those of you that don't know, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster launched on September 18th on the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And believe it or not, it's just Dead Rising, but it looks better. And it looks great. Because I think they
Yeah,
did
it
it in
does.
the RE engine, and it looks awesome.
Mhm.
Did you guys play the original Dead Rising when it came out?
I did.
I did.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Trez?
So,
I don't know if I've ever. I remember it coming out, and I've definitely seen footage, but I don't think I've ever actually played it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
Interesting.
lie. It bored the shit out of me.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No,
dude,
I've heard
dude,
mixed
dude.
things about it.
bored the shit out of me.
Yep.
really?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I played Dead Rising 1, 2, and 3 on the Xbox One. I played 1
Yeah, I
and 2 on
remember the Xbox
360.
One version. Mhm.
Yeah, dude. For whatever reason, the game was just I didn't understand what the excitement was. It seems like you're just in these big open areas and you just keep like building different weapons to kill hordes of zombies, but the zombies aren't very threatening or intelligent or anything. I don't know. Like it looks this game looks great, but
So
the
it's
It's an
original never
open
stuck.
area zombie game. Like that.
I
that-
think we're
there's
getting
not
so
much
pop
to it.
culture.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
believe this came out in either 2004, 2005. At the
Yeah.
time, I think this was the like whole appeal of Dead Rising was that you could use anything as a weapon, and like
weapon,
that
yeah.
hadn't been done
Sure.
before. So
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
kind of like, you can get see, you can pick up this plant, you can pick up whatever, or you can like attach things to it and just like use them as weapons,
Spot
which
on.
is something you would do in like an actual like zombie apocalypse or like you see in like zombie movies, and that's why it was so popular.
Sure. And yeah, and given the appeal in 2005, I totally see it. The
Yeah.
appeal in 2024, I don't know. That's a different conversation, I guess.
Yeah, and even
Yeah.
looking at this footage, it kind of does look like it looks like an Xbox original game. Like it looks kind of dated, the gameplay wise, at least.
Yeah, I like I said, I haven't really played it recently, so I don't know what I would think about it playing it now today. So
It was a different time back then. This game came out, I think, like early in the Xbox 360 days.
Yeah.
And I think we were just cool to have. We were just excited to have games that you could, like he said, just pick up weapons. It was kind of like that open world feel. It was like it was just like next gen excitement, I think.
yeah, you might
Yeah.
be right. You might be right.
Yeah,
It's
because I
just like,
think it was a
new.
launch title too, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
And then
was.
3 was a launch title for the Xbox
It was a lot
One.
for Xbox One. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think I'll be playing this anytime soon. I'm gonna be very honest with you. But more, is there any other games that came out this week?
Yeah, there's others. Do you want me to
Yeah.
just read them off in rapid succession?
I mean, if you want to, or they could do something else.
Oh, guys, if you guys want to see some other games that came out this week, we may or may not have a Reddit page for Gamer Actual where you can have
Please,
access
please.
to the show notes. Can we get a link for the Reddit in the chat?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna pop up in the chat any moment now.
Just 2 more episodes, and that little segue gonna be so fluid.
Right.
So fluid.
Yes, just
So
2 more.
fluid.
Just 2 more episodes. We're gonna get it. We're gonna hammer it down. See, like clockwork. I told you guys. Just a second. It's there. Already there, bro.
Like-
It's arriving.
Wow.
Arriving to America.
Also, I want to make a very special announcement, by the way. The Gamer Actual podcast just hit over 100 downloads across all podcast platforms,
Woo!
which is super dope.
Woo!
Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. And I really feel
Congrats.
like we also have auditory listener. We have audio listeners that don't tune into the live show, but they go listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or places like that. I really think that, but they just don't tune in for the live show. So if you're listening, we actually have a live show 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on twitch.tv/Castro for right now, because we're looking to transition our show over to the KXI network sometime soon. We'll give you guys more information. Just hop into the Discord. Also be linking to the show notes as well. So, putting that out there, guys. But yeah, I feel like that's a huge achievement for us, bro. It's a very huge achievement. Also, the fact that we hit 31 episodes.
The
is a
YouTube numbers.
huge achievement.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, the YouTube numbers are going up as well. We've
Yep.
been hitting like a steady like 500, 700 views on our YouTube shorts. YouTube videos they're doing pretty decent for what they are for right now. But I can tell we're growing. We're growing, guys. We're doing our thing. We're getting up there. So, I'm proud of us. Proud of us.
LFG. Well done, team.
Yeah, man. But yeah, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast.
Ooh,
First
I'm
and
hungry.
foremost.
I'm a hungry
Right?
hippo. Cash, tell me the news. Give me the meat and potatoes.
So this is geared towards Marathon. For those who don't know, Marathon is Bungie's next upcoming title. It is an extraction shooter, and they're reportedly considering making the game a $40 game as opposed to the original thought was supposed to be a free-to-play title, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't know.
The
I don't know what their original pricing was.
Yeah, so the initial idea for them was supposed to make this game a free-to-play title, but now it's going to be a $40 price mark, which was very similar to games like Helldivers and also Concord. So yeah, before we even get into that, let's hop into a article from VGC so I can give you guys more information on that as well. So it says Bungie and Sony are considering a $40 price tag for Marathon. It's been claimed. That's according to multiple sources talking to Game Post, who suggested PvP extraction shooters launch price could match that of 2 of other live service games recently published by Sony. They include one of this year's biggest releases, Helldivers 2, and 2024's biggest flop, Concord, both of which were released for PlayStation 5 and PC. Sony said Sony said in May that Helldivers 2 had become PlayStation's fastest selling game launch ever. That's pretty dope. With sales far exceeding expectations at 12 million copies sold in its first 12 weeks. That's insane. In contrast, Sony pulled Concord from sales, took the game offline within 2 weeks of the release. So we're looking at Marathon falling somewhere between that spectrum. It's pretty much what I think this article is trying to like set it up to be.
Allude to,
if you will. Yes. Right? What are your thoughts about this whole decision, guys? Let's start with Trez. Oh, go ahead, Maury, and then we work our way to Trez.
Okay.
Or if you're feeling
Trez.
it, you kick it, and I'll follow up.
Okay. Tough. Well, I was gonna say, I was a Bungie slut for 15 years. I was a diehard Halo guy, and Destiny took every bit of me for 10 years. And I loved Bungie for a long time, not so much anymore. I'm very worried about this being a $40 price point. I do not think that Helldivers was the rule. I think Helldivers was the exception to the rule. I think that the same criticisms that you're going to get with Concord, right, from the community saying there's so many hero shooters, I think you can make the same argument for extraction shooters. I think that you could have the exact same dialogue. So I'm nervous about that $40 price point. I'm also just nervous because how much of Bungie's audience really wants to see where they're going to go after Destiny. You got people investing in this ecosystem over 10 years. You're now kind of saying, hey, we're not going to touch it for a while. Do people want to go learn a whole new game, a whole new genre? There's just so much going on here. I've been worried about Marathon from the jump. Bungie already has a lot of problems as is. We know that they've gone through massive layoffs. We know that their most recent expansion for Destiny 2 undersold miserably. Rumor has it the morale at the studio is super low. So how much passion is going into this project? I don't know. I think everything with Marathon right now is up in the air, and I don't think any news about that game is good news. Like hearing that this game is going to be $40 doesn't make me feel any like better about it. Destiny 2 has hardly succeeded in the position that it has been in being free to play for the last like 4 or 5 years. So now you're going to ask people to put $40 up front. I just don't know. I don't know.
Trez, how about you?
Yeah, I'm out on this. Maury, you said it perfectly. Like, I feel the exact same way. I feel like the $40 price tag is kind of like the dead zone of games right now. Where it's like, I feel like it might actually even do better if it just sold for like a full price of $60 because people would just look at it in a higher standing. It kind of feels like the $40 price tag gets tagged onto things that should be free to play. And sometimes it just feels disingenuous that they're just kind of like going out there for these games that like should be, again, Concord should be like free to play games that just like I don't know, and then they fail, and I think that's what's going to happen with Marathon. I'm not really an extraction shooter person. I'm not really a Destiny person either. So for me personally, I'm out on it, and I wouldn't be surprised to see if it does get like this niche fan base that like kind of keeps it going. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if it does the exact same thing that Concord did.
Yeah, I think the $40 price tag is like a death nail for games nowadays. They just if they're not super confident in a game, they're going to they put a price tag on it to see where it goes, and if not, they can then say, you know what, at least we tried, and then they just kind of go back to the drawing board, pretty much.
One quick last point I want to make too is, the whole like Helldivers thing, like that. I feel like Helldivers kind of like reinvented this type of game, and it was fresh and it was new, and that's why it was so like popular when it came out. And I feel like that's kind of died off. Like, and I know there's a bunch of people that like trash Helldivers now. But I just feel like it was kind of just like game of the week type of thing where it was like super popular, died off, and now here's these studios, they're like, oh, we need to make like a Helldivers game, but it's just not. it didn't really catch, and I think that's kind of like where we're at right now. So
yeah. Something else to jump in on is my other big question about Marathon is what does the monetization model look like? Because with Helldivers, they released a battle pass every month. I cannot believe gamers got over that. I cannot believe that they trashed Concord for costing $40 with all future content being built into that price point, but they loved that Helldivers had a battle pass. My question is, what is Marathon going to be? Is it going to be like Destiny where there's paid expansions every year that expand on the game? Is there going to be a battle pass that I have to pay for every single month? Like why is it at $40? If $40 is only an excuse to charge me another $100 over the next year for all future content going forward, I don't think that's a good reason to put it at $40. That doesn't make me feel any better about the product. I don't know.
Heartless, you have something to say?
I have 4 things I'm going to rapid fire say, and if any of them resonate with you guys and you want to respond, feel free to respond. One thing is Destiny has hundreds and hundreds of dollars from people, like of people's money. People are heavily invested in Destiny. Whether or not the extraction shooter market is flooded or not, people are heavily committed to Destiny. People who hate the game are committed to Destiny. It's like a life sentence to them. But anyways, that's one point. The next point is I think Space Marines has been in development since before Helldivers, so I don't know if they were necessarily trying to take the business model from Helldivers. I'm not sure.
Space Marines 1 or 2, because there's
2.
Yeah, but Space Marines 1 played very similar to Space Marines 2.
No, for sure. But in terms of the business model, like and all that.
Oh, okay.
And the other point is now we have games at multiple price points. $40 is something that I wasn't seeing, and now I'm seeing it happening. So I actually disagree with you guys on the fact that it's like a death nail. I think I'd like to see more games coming out at $40. I think that'd be really cool. And I also think it opens the door for people actually charging what their games are worth. And then they better give the same energy to Concord about the $40 price point. And I think that's contradictory, but if it's a similar package to Concord and they're not giving it the same energy, then I don't want to hear that.
It's a weird thing too, because I feel like certain games, once they get that $40 price point, though, they sometimes don't get the attention. Is what I'm saying. Because look at even games like Banisher wasn't $40. Banisher was $50. It was a $50 game, but at the same time, I feel like no one really talked about Banisher. You know what I mean? It just kind of flew under a lot of people's radar. So I don't know what it is. Like if it's like standard price, a lot of people talk about it because I guess that's because it has the AAA moniker, right? That's why it's priced at a standard price. It's a AAA game, but I don't think Banisher was considered AAA. I think it was a AA game, so that's probably why. But at the same time, I don't know. It's just weird to me to really like process and think about.
Yeah. I mean, this has been like, I think if Marathon does release at $40, we can know for certain that that's Sony's plan for live service games going forward. We'll see that for fair games as well.
Makes sense.
Probably anything else coming out. I think more than anything, I agree with what Heartless said that I want to see more games priced at $40 if that's what it's worth. But I agree with what Trez said that I do think it's a death nail now because I think now that price point is associated with Concord. There's no way around that. There's no way out of that. Now, when you look at a Sony live service title at $40, the first thing that you just thought of was Concord. Live service, $40 Sony first party title. You thought of Concord. And I love Concord, but most people do not. So if you think of Concord when you think of Marathon, that is not a good correlation. That is not the place that you want to resonate with fans on. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I think the fact that the failure of Concord though has people being very, what's the word? I guess speculative about what this could mean for Marathon moving forward. Because one, we haven't seen much gameplay for Marathon, and two, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of hype surrounding Marathon either. So, it kind of is the same energy, same temperature when it came to Concord. I feel like it's the same kind of.
I didn't hear about it till the show flow.
See,
wow.
But just think about that, right? No, we've actually talked about it one more time before this.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. But that just means it went in one ear,
it's not
out the other. And
It's not
it
sticking.
didn't stick, and I didn't see it again. So
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Exactly. But when Helldivers became a thing, like, think about how much people talked about Helldivers.
It's all about going viral now, huh?
Pretty much, kind of.
Yeah.
But like, think about how much people were talking about Helldivers compared to a Concord or a Marathon. And think about the studios that are working on friggin' Concord or a Marathon. You would think people would have that kind of enthusiasm around those games, those developers. But they don't. What is it?
A lot of these games to me just feel like their sole purpose is just to make money. And it feels to me well, yes, all right. Everything is to make money. let me backtrack on that. I feel like they're not putting enough time and effort into what they're actually producing, and they're just kind of looking for like the ROI, the return on investment. And they're not like really like baking this and giving it enough time. And it feels like the $40 price tag to me on a live service game is just there so that they can, because they're afraid it's not going to sell at 60, so they're bringing it down to 40. And I don't know.
I knew that was going to be someone's perspective, because psychologically you would say, why aren't they selling it for 60?
Right.
Yeah.
You feel like it feels like a lesser product.
It feels like they don't have confidence in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's only $40 instead of $60. And that's at least how I read it.
I don't think you're the only one.
Paladins, I gotta be real. No, so talking about Paladins, I gotta be real. A part of why I love Overwatch and was willing to pay $60 for it twice is because of the art style. Paladins does not do that for me. It never will. Paladins can make the greatest game of all time, and its art style will probably never do that for me. You know,
it's a matter of preference at the end of the day.
Sometimes things just don't hit.
Yeah, they don't translate properly. Not translate. It doesn't appeal to people the same way. That's what it comes down to. But yeah, any final thoughts about this situation? Temperature check. Oh, we're feeling very cold.
Very cold. Very cold.
Very cold. All right, so moving on. Sony reveals PS5 Pro 30th anniversary collection. Let me just say something before I ask you guys. I put this over to the panel. Mori last week was one of the strongest proponents against Microsoft, Sony releasing a $700 console. Chat, I want you guys to hear me.
That's crazy.
And as soon as they revealed the 30th anniversary collection, this boy flipped on a dime.
You know what?
A dime.
Instantly.
Yeah.
He was like,
right?
Oh yeah.
Trez, what do you thought?
Oh wow.
No. I want to ask Trez. I want to know what Trez thinks about it.
No,
Trez is officially a PC gamer now. He's not really big on.
Buy a PC. Anymore. Don't buy a PlayStation 5.
I'm so sorry. I thought you were asking what were Trez's thoughts on my Sony pony tendencies, and I was like, "What the hell? Like, why am I about to get grilled by the whole panel?" Okay, no, Trez.
You might.
That sucks. Damn, that sucks. All right, Trez, go ahead.
You already have a PlayStation 5.
Yes, you do.
I do.
Why do you need the Pro?
Well, I was the person arguing that I didn't need the Pro, but I do need that version of the Pro. Let's be honest. All right. Have you seen the design?
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. Tell me that doesn't like get your nether regions going. You can't tell me it doesn't.
Wow.
There's something. Yeah. Like I'm standing on business.
You know what it is? I feel like they're appealing to collectors here. I think that's what it is.
Yes.
It's appealing to collectors.
Yes.
I mean, for me personally, it doesn't like it's how much is it going for? $700?
No, it's actually it's going to be like 1,000 or something like that.
It's probably going to be more expensive. It's going to be more expensive because it's a collector's edition.
You can buy a PC for $1,000. That would be a pretty decent PC.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
All this is valid.
We had Reaper last week. We had Reaper come. Was it last week? Come up here on the show and say that.
Yeah.
Say the same thing.
There you go.
So I don't know,
and
bro.
then you can upgrade your PC
gradually
for much less money by the time PlayStation 6 comes out.
This is true. This is true. I can't argue this. No, I if the argument is that like you're gonna get more value for buying a PC for $1,000 than this PlayStation 5 Pro, I would agree with that. I just being totally honest, I was being a bit facetious. I'm not actually gonna go out and spend $1,000 on this super limited edition. Besides,
you're
by
gonna
the time
spend
I could,
2,000.
I'm going to pay $2,000 because the scalpers are going to resell it and I'm going to be there day one. No, all of these are going to be gone the minute they go live. Scalpers are going to buy up. There's only like 2,000 or 3,000 of them being made. I can't remember what the exact number was. I will never see one of these, and not one PlayStation fan will. Scalpers will buy these up and they'll resell them to people with a ton of money. But I was being a bit facetious on Twitter. But yeah, I do think this is a really great marketing move by Sony. Like in the midst of announcing like a really bad announcement of, oh yeah, our console, our like upgrade is $700, and if you want to put your discs in your hardware again, you're gonna have to pay another $100. Like that's crazy, bro. And pay $30 more for the stand if you want to put it up on its side. Pay me $30 more. But this is good. This appeals to the Sony pony. I'm no longer mad because I just saw a really sexy console that reminds me of the PS1, a console I never even played, but I'm still excited. I don't know.
All right. So this is coming from our producer, Jeremy, in the back. He's saying it's 12,300 units.
Yeah,
so that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, no, you're right.
More than my stupid 3,000 number though. 3,000 was not accurate. Yeah.
Maury, I get it though. If I were like a Sony fanboy, I would definitely want this.
Yeah.
So like I understand where you're coming from, but
But the value proposition isn't there. The value proposition isn't there. I agree. I agree with Trez. Like, there's no reason to spend $1,000 on this when you could just get a PC. I agree. But
especially when you consider the specs, though, right? Especially when you consider the specs. The specs, it's like 2 terabyte hard drives, SSD, Wi-Fi 7, a Wi-Fi in like 7 territories, supports. What's that? This is the standard. What's the standards? Supporting the standard of what?
Oh,
so it's coming with the DualSense controllers too to match the whole aesthetic of the thing. But is the portal? My question is, because I'm a little bit confused with the noting here. Is the portal also a part of this bundle, or do you have to buy the portal separately? Will it be sold separately?
I feel like the portal has to be separate, right? Like, because if you're buying the Pro,
because if not, that's like $2,000 right there off rip.
Right.
If but Jeremy's saying it's sold separately.
Yeah.
So
wait, the PS5 sold 500,000 units in 20 minutes
because of scalpers.
Is that true?
Probably. That's believable,
bro. So when the PS5 first released, there was a lot of scalping that was happening during that time. PS5 and the Xbox, and in order like instant sold out, bro. They were instantly sold out. A lot of them
buying from somebody online.
Really?
Yeah, he got his money back, but he did get scammed.
Dang.
Wow. I waited. No, it's not that serious. I'm gonna be honest.
Again, I just want to remind everyone, I got an exclusive pre-order from Sony because they love me so much. I just want to remind everyone that, like, if you sat and waited in that Best Buy like line online, you're hilarious. Sony emailed me personally to give me a pre-order. You know,
imagine if Cash just shut off his mic and shut off his camera real quick, and as soon as that rant started, that'd have been hilarious.
That'd have been crazy. I'd have been a little offended. I would have been a little upset, a little hurt.
It would have just been funny.
Yeah.
Just hang up.
It's okay. Well, I will not be getting the PS5 Pro, Alpha, Omega, Deluxe, Super Turbo. I will not be getting it.
Oh, Reaper just showed up in the chat. So the PS5 Retro Collection still has no disc drive for you to put a PS1 disc in.
That's crazy.
Even though it looks like a PS1.
Even though it looks like a PS1.
That's
wow,
crazy.
Reaper came in here swinging. I'm just saying.
That's
actually a hard fact.
You can put on your hoodie from high school, but that's not gonna get the knee pain at your knees.
Nah, you're still gonna be an adult. You're gonna have to adult. And again, going back to the PlayStation 5 Pro digital, that one I think that's gonna be launched with a 1 terabyte hard drive SSD, matching limited edition accessories, DualSense wireless controller, and console cover. I haven't seen the is it the panel? Is that what they're talking about? I'm assuming it's the panels, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what we just call them panels.
Yeah. I want to clarify as well, as much as I am very critical of the PS5 Pro's price point, and as much as I jokingly this week said that I would buy this collection, right? That PS5 Pro is going to sell like hot cakes when GTA 6 comes out. the 50% of people still
I
on that PS4, they're all buying this. They're all buying
Yeah,
this.
I
I'm
really do
standing by
think that's when that's gonna go the hardest, especially because it's
Yeah.
being paired with it. Because apparently they got clearance to do that. They're gonna be pairing
it. Yeah.
GTA 5. So they're marketing the PS5 Pro as the optimal console to play GTA 5 when it launches.
GTA
So
6.
it's gonna
But
get
yes.
GTA 6, sorry, when it launches. So that's gonna be crazy. And
Yeah.
remember, half of PlayStation's ecosystem is still on PS4. So there's
Yep.
gonna be a lot of purchases for the PS5 Pro when that drops. By the end of the
Oh, yeah.
year, I think in October, November.
So it'll be a
November.
quarter of the total ecosystem purchasing.
You think so?
If it's going to be half of the PlayStation 4 users, then and the PlayStation 4 users are half of the ecosystem, then that's a quarter of the whole ecosystem upgrading to a new
Yeah.
console.
Yeah.
At least, probably.
You go ahead, Maury.
No, I was just gonna say, I think in total it'll be like a fourth of their ecosystem goes over, but I think that takes like 2 years. I don't think that happens like instantaneously.
Ain't saying no, I don't think so
No.
as well. But I
No.
also think people who are already existing PS5 players, like PS5 owners, will also transition because they're gonna
Yeah.
they feel the need to transition to the more optimal machine, so to speak. So yeah, I can see all of that happening.
There's 118 million people who use PlayStation.
Yeah.
So
a lot of
if it's
people.
going to be a quarter, then you're
Mhm.
looking at 30, almost 30 million people. That's crazy.
That's a
Mhm.
good number. That's a great number.
That's a crazy number.
Yeah, it is. It's insane.
And I feel like
Yeah.
consoles usually sell out their predecessors faster.
Sometimes, but you have to
But yeah,
remember.
this is just a Pro. This is not like a PlayStation 6. This is just
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like in related news, Sony is saying like the core console, it will remain. Sony reported that the console will be like the core of its like business model. So the CEO says, let's go into this article from Is This the Gamer?
Yes.
Says even Sony has expanded into the PC market and PC gaming as a whole and continues to become more and more popular. Console will still remain a major part of PlayStation's business. That bit that bit of information comes from Hideki Nishino, the CEO of Sony's Interactive Entertainment Platform Business Group, via a new interview with Japanese publication Nikkei. I hope I'm saying those names correctly. Nishino, along with Herman Holtz, succeeded Jim Ryan as CEO as PlayStation following Ryan's retirement. Holtz became CEO of the newly named studio Business Group. Interview, which was transcribed by Video Games Chronicles, makes it clear that PlayStation consoles, including the forthcoming PS5 Pro, will continue to be the priority for particularly when it comes to the game releases. So yeah, so even though they're considering like having games day and date on PC, they're still saying that hey, we are still focused on consoles. That's where our market is. I think that's kind of contrary when it comes to like Xbox, considering what I see Xbox doing. That's very, it's very different.
Yeah.
The model that PlayStation, not Xbox, is going for. I don't know what do you guys think about that before we transition.
Trez, talk to me, baby. Give me those sultry tones.
I don't know. I'm kind of like indifferent on
Mhm.
on all of it.
PC.
Do you have Game Pass,
PC
Trez?
Master Race.
No, I don't. I
Oh?
used to have Game Pass. I used to have PlayStation Plus, and I wound up just not. I understand the whole like what they're trying to push with it, and
Mhm.
how they're trying to bring things to, like the casual gamer of like they want to put everything in the cloud, basically. Well, with Game Pass at least.
Yeah.
But I found myself like never playing a bunch of the games that were on there for the one or two games that got released a year. It's not worth the like $15 a month that I was paying, so that's why I got rid of Game Pass.
Mm.
And then same thing with like PlayStation Network, I just kind of transitioned over to PC and stopped really playing on there, and unless I was playing like Spider-Man 2 before it came out. I think it was announced for PC, but hasn't been released yet. Yeah, like stuff like that is now the only reason why I use my PlayStation. So
I think in the long run, cloudifying your ecosystem will be the successful market. One day, Xbox Game Pass will just be on every TV, and all you'll need is a controller, and you'll be able to play all the games.
I think
That's
slowly
the
that's
future
where they're
we're
headed.
it makes sense.
Slowly.
They're just it's gonna be a while before they get there, but I do think once they get there, it's like
There's
they
no
have
going
it.
back.
Exactly.
TVs are going to be equipped to play video games I promise you, within the next 10 years, TVs are going to be equipped to play video games. Xbox Game Pass will be, because you think Xbox Game Pass will ever go away, guys?
Yes, I do.
I don't.
You think so? I don't think it's going anywhere.
I think it's going to become so unprofitable within time. Like I think they're just doing damage control right now, putting it on PlayStations. I don't know. Like, what do you do? What do you do if one day it does move over to televisions exclusively, and then you don't have like a PlayStation?
You don't have to buy the
console?
consoles. They up the price. They put exclusive games on there, and they
Yeah, I don't think-
they increase the library. Or they're gonna put the whole library in that system, and then you're gonna be paying, I don't know, a much heftier price.
But they're bleeding. Yeah, well, yeah, you'd have to pay half your price. I don't know that consumers will pay that. I think that will be the downfall of Game Pass. Is it's going to be too big for a consumer.
I mean,
it'll never be exclusive to just like a TV or something like that. What'll happen is it'll just be an app.
And it's going to go across the board.
You can play on your PC, that you can play on your console, that you can play on your TV, because everything's just going to run in the cloud, and that's why they won't need any like processing power on the actual device. It's all
iPad in 10 years.
Yeah, iPad
in 10 years.
And so far, cloud gaming. Yeah, and so far, cloud gaming is pretty decent. It's not great, but like if you have a good internet connection, you can play games on cloud.
Wait till you can have a slab that's like twice the size of this. You can sit it anywhere and have your controller, and you can play with your friends. That is where we're headed in the future.
I agree. Man, I don't know. I do not have faith in Game Pass in its current format. Like, I think
is already gonna kill console. Wait till the TV, iPad, mobile. There is no surviving, bro. Look at this thing right here has literally replaced every tool that we have constructed. Tools that used to be entire buildings. One day, I promise you, this is going to be your console.
Sure. And I agree with all this. My only thing with Game Pass is like something has to change over there. Like, I don't know if that's Call of Duty not being on Game Pass. I don't know what it is, but like Xbox is just way too big.
You would pay $50 a month to not need a console and have access to every game.
But it's not 15.
50.
Oh, 50
is a lot.
You would.
50
to never have to buy a console. Okay, how many $50 payments would you recoup not having to spend $700 on a console?
If that $700 on a console lasts me 8 years, which is the average generation, that means that I'm paying.
When was the last time you bought a console that you're about to replace? The one you're about to replace with this new PlayStation. When did you buy that?
Well, I don't have to replace it with a Pro, right? So in my head, if this console generation lasts 8 years and it was a $500 console, that means that on average,
I agree with that logic.
I'm saving so much money a month. Like, I'm nowhere near $50 a month.
But you don't. But you have to buy the games.
Sure.
But you have to buy the games.
Sure, that's fair. Yeah.
So $50 a month. You don't have to buy a $700 console. You still have to buy a TV, but you would have had to buy it anyways because consoles will come with TVs. And so
it's the ease of access. It's just like I can have it and I have it right now, and I there's no barrier to entry, and it's like I think the most profitable game of all time is Candy Crush, and it's because it's addictive. You just you can just download it.
No, I think GTA is the most profitable piece of media ever created. 200 million copies sold.
Yeah, that might be. I know Candy Crush has made $20
It's up there though.
billion.
It's
No,
up there, though.
Candy Crush is definitely up there.
It's up
Candy
there.
Crush.
I'm not taking
Yeah.
that away from you. I just want to
Yeah,
do the
but-
journalism thing.
Yeah, I mean GTA also has been GTA 5. You mean? Because that's
Yeah.
been
The
over
latest one
course
is
of, like,
is the most profitable piece of
3
media, more than any album, movie, or video game ever made.
yeah,
Right,
that
but
sounds,
Candy
that
Crush,
sounds right.
but Candy Crush doesn't define as a piece of media because it's an app.
Yeah, it's just a video game. It's just a game.
Yeah.
It's still a video game though, which is a piece
like
of
a
media.
mobile
Still
game.
media, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I,
but it's
does
still it's a very addictive game. Is basically what Cuz is saying.
wait, has
Very
Candy
addictive.
Crush not made more than GTA 5? I was sure Candy Crush made more than GTA 5.
Candy Crush has made $20 billion.
GTA 5,
I don't know how much
the
GTA
most
5 has made.
profitable piece of media ever. It's
Wow.
GTA 5.
Candy
But
Crush.
my
let's do
point
that.
is-
Candy Crush versus GTA 5. Let's see.
My point is, it's made so much money because it's so easy to just download, and it's addictive. And if you give that ease of access, like with Game Pass, and I see what they're doing. I'm sure that they might not be making money now, but give it 5 years, and that's what they're like. They're throwing all their chips into it. Like they know that they're bleeding money,
Yeah.
and they're just like, it'll happen eventually. It'll catch. People will catch on.
Yeah.
Their end game is like 5-10 years from now. It's not
Right.
like,
I actually
like
think the
they're
end
not looking
game
at
is-
annual revenues and being like, we didn't do it.
I actually think the end game is like 10, 15 years. No, not the end game, but where they think they want to think 10, 15 years ahead, not just 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The long
just
run, just long game.
Yeah.
Just for the record, GTA 5 generated 8.6 billion US dollars. So that means Candy Crush is technically more profitable and it's not a piece of media. And that's why.
It's technically more profitable.
I mean, 20 billion is more than.
Oh,
8
whoa!
billion.
They made 20 billion. Wow.
Yeah.
As
Then-
of September 2023, it has reached over 20 billion, which means it's even more now. Who knows what it's at now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then why is GTA touted as the most profitable piece of media ever?
It's the most profitable piece of media. Candy Crush isn't like a piece of media. It's I can't.
That was just a funny moment.
No, I was slightly upset. I was like, Heartless, I swear I tried to
It's
tell
a game,
you. I
though. It's
swear.
a game, which is what we consider.
Yeah,
a piece
like
of
I would
media.
consider it media.
Yeah,
but
I would consider
but
it
it's
media too.
But it's microtransactions. It's not copies sold. It's mom
Germ
buying
is
another.
saying that is not true. What is not true, chat? Let's get
What
to
is
the
not
bottom of
true?
this. Let's get to the bottom of
This
this.
is insane. This is insane.
What
I
are
feel
we-
like a
what are we
madman.
talking
I
about
feel-
now?
No, literally.
No,
what are we talking
about right now? Now I'm
Germ is
lost.
saying Germ's wrong. Skip this. He's saying Pokemon is the most profitable form of media. It is. The
Oh
most
no, he's
profitable
trolling. He's
IP.
trolling. He's trolling.
We're talking about individual
Yeah,
pieces of media.
IP
One
is
singular
different.
item.
Yeah.
One singular item. One game. GTA 5 has made more money than any singular Pokemon game.
So wait, are you telling me that Candy Crush is not considered to be a form of media? Is
I'm
it
not. I'm
It's a
not.
vid-
I'm not
it's a
doing. I'm
game.
not doing this, bro. I'm not doing this.
I'm
Y'all
lost.
are gonna make
I'm
me
lost.
tweak
There.
out.
Is it not a game?
No,
Yeah,
no,
not a
bro.
game?
You guys
He
gotta-
looked at me like I was
bro.
wilding, but he looked at
If
me
it's
like
a
I was
game,
wilding,
it's a
but it
form
was-
of media. I
It's
agree.
a form of media.
No,
Yeah.
this is
I think
outrageous.
you're on your own here, Maury.
Yeah.
I feel,
Yeah,
what is wrong? These categories, bro. I'm so lost. What's going
no,
on?
This
we
is
said
outrageous.
piece of media. Piece of
Mhm.
media, and we said GTA 5. We didn't fumble this bag. Y'all fumbled this bag. We specifically were talking about GTA 5. Every number we gave you was about GTA 5. We said piece of media, GTA 5.
But you
That
know
is
what's
true.
crazy? When I go to thing, it says list of best-selling video games of all time. You know what's up there? Minecraft is at what 300 million? Am
Yeah,
I saying that
Minecraft
correctly?
is like real high too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Minecraft.
dude who made
Grand
that
Theft is
bought
at 200,
Beyonce's
but-
house.
Mhm.
Mm.
Wow.
Yep.
That's wild.
Yep.
Wow.
Jay-Z and Beyonce's mega billionaire house. He bought their house. Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Y'all want to make an app?
Let's
I thought
do it.
about it. I thought about it.
All right, guys. Moving on. We've been on this topic for way too long. So in other news, because
He's
we were
gonna
talking
cry.
about mobile games. Ooh, Maury.
Maury's gonna cry because we was
Yeah.
like, nah, you wildin'.
Yeah, we know the news because speaking of Nintendo, so there were leaks of the new Nintendo console, the quote unquote Nintendo Switch 2 console. Now, we can't share any of these online, but to me, based on what we've been seeing, it looks pretty similar to the current Nintendo Switch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
If you guys want to go check that out, it's on the Reddit page. You guys can go click on it and check for yourself, but we're not going to be showing it on the show.
Reddit plug.
Yeah, allegedly. Let's also lead by allegedly. We're not 100% sure, but most sources are claiming that this is a leak, and it's not. Like,
I will say this.
Mhm.
If the leaks are true and it does look like the original Switch,
then it's going to be touted as a Switch U. Yeah,
these guys in the chat. No. Then I think that means they're confident in the technological leaps they made with this. I think it said somewhere they went from 4 gigs of VRAM to 12 gigs of VRAM. That is a pretty significant leap. What else did they got in there for us?
I don't really know the specs. I don't think did they announce the specs? I can't recall ever hearing any specs announcement. Am I wrong to say that?
No, I read in one of the articles. It said they went from 4 gigs of VRAM to 12 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah, but that's allegedly. It's not. None of that is like actually. Yeah, none of it. It's confirmed.
All of this is allegedly.
Allegedly. So it says according to today's images, which Switch 2 will include a 12 gigabytes of RAM. Compared to the original Switch's 4 gigabytes of RAM, supports HDMI 2.1 and 256 gigabytes of internal storage compared to the 32, which matches an alleged shipped leak from earlier this year. Also, one of the things to confirm is like one of the makers that makes like Switch peripherals and like cases and stuff like that, also has a very similar build of the model that was being shown as well. And they're saying that's speculated to say that that's what the Switch will look like. So I'm not really 100% sure, but it's leaning very close to being positive that this is what the Switch will look like.
Trez, you got anything on this matter?
I think it just looks like a Switch.
It looks like a Switch, exactly. I hope it's not. It feels like it's gonna be a Switch 2 situation. The Wii U situation again.
No, I think that Nintendo is just gonna do this from now, like just moving forward. Just like maybe just update the Switch and just keep moving, and it'll just be Nintendo Switch. And just
Super
move
Nintendo
on
Switch.
with like an upgraded one every 5-10 years or something like that.
You know why I'm okay with that? Here's why. I feel like Nintendo has carved out a niche for themselves within the industry that they don't have to compete with everybody else. They have their corner, and that's where they're sticking to.
Completely agree. And they have all the they have a million freaking IPs that you're never going to be able to play on anything else. So yeah, I think they have their own kind of corner of the gaming world.
Yeah, and I think because they've figured that portion of, because remember before they were more of competitors to Xbox and PlayStation. Now they don't have to do that anymore. And I think they don't want to leave that area because they're in a very comfortable spot.
They've always said it too. They're always said that they don't really, it's not about the graphics for them. It's always about the gameplay. It's about just making games fun. And I think they do that with the games that they make and the IPs that they have. And they have a million incredible IPs that have been around forever. So yeah, I think they just move forward with upgrading the Switch, and maybe sometime 20 years from now, maybe we'll see something different.
Yeah, because I think this is what it comes down to. I think that's what Nintendo's IPs sell Nintendo products.
Yeah,
let's keep it a buck. Whereas we can't really say that with PlayStation and Xbox. I don't really know. I could be wrong to say this.
PlayStation more so than Xbox.
PlayStation more so than Xbox. Yeah.
They're just vessels.
Yeah, but the Switch is directly linked to its IP. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So
don't they all semi coexist in a Nintendo universe? All of their games in one way.
IPs, I guess you can say that to some degree.
They
yes.
do.
Because I remember an article. I heard an article kind of allude to that at one point.
Well, no, not even in that sense, but they have so many games that they have crossovers that almost the interactions between all the different IPs feels like canonic. You know what I'm saying? So they built that.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I loved about. I think it was the Smash Brothers on Wii.
Yeah,
they're the story mode
Yeah.
like actually had cinematics and actually had a story, and it was great.
Yeah, it was super dope.
So
I actually
before we
like
move
that. Which
on,
was that for Wii? Which one was that?
Smash
that-
for Wii. Brawl, I
Yeah,
think.
Brawl.
Yeah.
Mm.
uh,
Yeah,
listen, Cass,
Heartless, go ahead.
Before we move on, just
Mhm.
just so the chat understands what we're talking about. We said that Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh my god.
I hate to do this.
Backtracking.
I hate to do this. I hate to do this. We
Mhm.
said that Grand Theft Auto 5, one singular game, that game sold 200 million copies. The game I'm pretty sure one of the highest selling Pokemon games of all time is Arceus, which is sold 20 million copies. So
Listen.
we're talking about singular game to singular game. Grand Theft Auto is a piece of media. Grand Theft Auto 5, that one piece of media has sold 200 million copies, and it has microtransactions. Pokemon as a whole, as an IP, yes, has made more money than that one game. Yes.
Okay.
Got you.
So I'm lost here. What's going on here? Well, what are we debating?
No. We got copy and paste here from Google saying that we was wrong. We was not wrong. We was not wrong.
Heartless is replying to the chat. Got it.
Chat.
No, I saw it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was kind of confused as to the discussion because I got what Heartless was saying.
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying.
All right. Next
Because it says it. I'm reading this right now from something. It's the highest grossing entertainment product ever is a video game, Grand Theft Auto. That means no single movie, book, music, album has ever grossed as much to date. I mean, and if you Google that highest selling piece of media, you're going to see Grand Theft Auto. Everybody collectively, please do
singular
that.
product.
Exactly. Like I think everybody is kind of because it's Grand Theft Auto 5. They're talking solely about Grand Theft Auto 5. You guys are talking about Pokemon, the brand, the IP in general. Like Pokemon has collectively made $100 billion. Like we're talking about Grand Theft Auto 5, not Grand Theft Auto, the IP, Grand Theft Auto 5, the singular piece of media, that singular game. Are we clear?
Thank you for your support, guys.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving on. Just to clarify, All right, so speaking of also Nintendo news, Nintendo will be filing they already did, filed a lawsuit against Palworld creator Pocketpair. And now so it says, I'm reading off the notes here. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company have filed a lawsuit against Palworld developer Pocketpair for infringement of patent rights. Prior to the launch, many describe Palworld as Pokemon with guns. For those unfamiliar, the wildly successful title, the basic concept of Palworld is that you combine survival game and mechanics with features commonly seen in the Pokemon franchise, like using balls to catch monsters and various elements types for use in battle or exploration. So that's coming from Game Rant, right? I'm a bit confused as to why in any case, bro, I really think if they were going to pursue a lawsuit, in my mind, I was expecting copyright law. Am I wrong to believe that? I feel like a patent infringement feels like far left field. I didn't anticipate them suing for that particular reason. But Trez, what are your thoughts about the situation?
I mean, I don't know the whole
Mhm.
legality behind it. But maybe it's that because I believe, didn't they try to get him on copyright like last year or something, and it like didn't.
No, so a lot of Pokemon fans were basically sending messages to Nintendo. Are you going to sue?
I remember that. Yeah.
Why aren't you suing Palworld? You should be suing Palworld. Like, why? Why are you taking that up in your hands to reach out to a company to ask them to sue? If they don't feel the need to sue, you should shut up.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I'm wondering if the Pokemon Company or Nintendo if they felt that they didn't have like a copyright case, and that's why they're going for the patent case
Patent.
instead, because that's kind of what it feels like, because it might have
Right.
been just like it's easier to get them on the Pokeball patent or whatever they're bringing them up on,
Right.
than it is to just sue them for like copyright infringement.
Yeah, because I can't think of any other, because we were talking about this during pre-show, guys. I can't think of anything else outside of that, like the Pokeball aspect, that they would be infringing on any kind of patent. Like, it's not that similar to Pokemon if you really think about it. Like, it's more of a survival game. Like
Yeah.
when you look at Power, it's more of like Ark.
It's not Pokemon.
It's not Pokemon. It's cutesy, sure. I guess you could. That's where you can compare it to Pokemon, but you can't patent cutesy critters. You just can't.
No.
That you can't patent that. So I really think that that's where they're aiming at. It's the ball. It's how they catch these
Pause.
creatures.
I'm gonna go. It was a great show. It was a great show.
It's how they catch these creatures. So it's very weird that they would do that, though. Also, though, Pocketpair is also based out of Japan. Am I right?
I
So
believe
it's like it's gonna be like a David and Goliath situation in this particular endeavor. So
Sure.
I want to see what happens here, because what I'm concerned about is the fact that Nintendo is kind of just like using their influence and their authority to kind of just get back at another company that they deemed is probably a threat, or you know what I mean? Am I making sense here?
They do that with anyone that comes out
Exactly.
with anything that's remotely
close.
yeah, close to any of their IPs.
Because I feel
Yeah.
like this is going to bleed Pocketpair, because Nintendo has the power and the money to draw this out as long as they need to,
Sure.
and just bleed the company dry.
I love
Sure.
Nintendo, but I hate their
business practices.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very cutthroat when it comes to that, and especially when it comes to like this is happening within their country. So now it feels like Pocketpair doesn't even stand a chance, really, because Nintendo
Yeah.
has that level of influence in that country already.
Yeah. It's always like the things that Nintendo does when it comes to anything legal always feel so needless. I think we
Right.
talked about this on the show before, but when they
Unnecessary.
used to always, like when they used to not let people stream their games on Twitch,
I was gonna
like,
bring this up too. Yeah.
bro, it feels like every single legal battle Nintendo takes on is so unnecessary, so needless. Like at the end of the day, Power World's doing well. It's not threatening Pokemon in any way, shape, or form. They just feel like bullies all the time, no matter what it is. If it's telling
I
creators,
agree.
we don't want you to advertise our games for free, or if it's this. I mean, they are such a senseless company when it comes to anything outside of making good games. Anything business related, that they just feel so moronic to me and so barbaric. I don't know.
Are they the ones like pursuing these legal actions, or are they having like third-party advisors doing it? That's another question that I have. I
They
don't
have a
know.
whole legal team for sure, not third party.
Not
Just
third
like
party.
they got
No way.
lawyers in house for
Mhm.
Yeah.
sure.
I'm
They
pretty sure
probably
that's why
waited till
Mhm.
Power World made a lot of money
so they can then act.
so they can then act. And somebody says something about they go for patent infringement so they can collect on per unit sold. Reaper said that in the chat.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh, so that's why they did that, as opposed
Yeah.
to
yeah, because if they go for a patent infringement lawsuit, they can collect per unit sold.
yeah, and because they're suing for damages. That's what
Yeah.
they're going for.
I'll also say this. We got this from backstage from Germ. It sounds like earlier this year, a judge determined that it was legally distinct enough for it to not file under copyright infringement. So I'm sure that that's part of the reason that they're filing for this patent ordeal now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who knows where it's gonna go, because we don't know the specifics of what the infringement is. Because I read the article, there's no one knows exactly what they're suing for. They just know it's a patent infringement, and that's the closest speculation that everyone has, is the catching with the balls, because every other like monster catching game has their own like spin on that aspect. Like if you think about games like Cassette Beast. I don't know if you guys ever seen Cassette Beast. You basically you can use it's not a Pokeball pretty much.
Okay.
So I think I don't know, bro. But that's like I said, that's the only thing I can think of that they can go for.
Sure.
So it's crazy that if they do that, they can win. Like you would think, like Nintendo would try to improve in terms of like innovate. Like I was talking to a friend today. I think I was talking to Joel TJ today. Like he's a big like Pokemon fan. And a lot of these things, and we've said it before on the show, the reason why Power World did as well as it did is because Pokemon fans were asking for like something in the survival genre for a while. And Power World came in and did exactly that. It scratched an itch that some people didn't even know they wanted, right?
Yeah.
Now, Pokemon hasn't been innovative for years, minus Arceus. Arceus was the most innovative Pokemon game since anything else. Heartless, go ahead.
It didn't. Well, no, I was just gonna. And Arceus didn't even feel fully fleshed out either.
It didn't. It
Arceus?
didn't.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah,
and I love the game. I just
it
wish
got real
had more.
repetitive.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But I think they're also because there are reports that they're working on an Arceus 2, but it's not going to be called Arceus 2. I don't remember what it's going to be called, but they're actually working on a sequel to that line of Pokemon titles. And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if some of those elements that are in this new Pokemon game will be borrowing some degree from Power World, minus the guns. We know that guns are not coming. Clearly, no guns in Pokemon.
Right.
But we're gonna see more aspects like that, like probably like the crafting aspects and stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. I wouldn't be. Not only that, you were able to play with friends in Power World and do missions together, hunt monsters and stuff like
you'll
that.
never
fight
see
bosses.
crafting in Pokemon. You'll see base
No?
building.
Base building is what I
You'll
meant.
see base building,
Mhm.
and you'll see some of like the open world elements, but you'll never see weapons. You'll never see crafting.
Yeah. But Power World did feel like Power World kind of shook them in that regard, and
You
I'm
got to
glad.
get back on that game.
Yeah, we do. They need Nintendo needs competition, especially when it comes to Pokemon. They need to. They need to have that.
100% agree.
Yeah, because bro, I feel like they regurgitate the same games over and over again every single time, and fans keep buying it every single time. So
Yeah.
like they need that. It needs to happen. It really does.
Yeah.
No, so said I can start up a game for after the okay. That's something totally different. But yeah, guys. Wow, we actually burned through a lot of our topics tonight.
Yeah.
It's a faster night, guys. So we actually have a new segment that we wanted to try, and I'm actually glad that we got to this segment tonight because we added on the docket for last week, but we kind of skipped over it because we kind of had a stack show. So this segment is called Gamer Actual React, right? And we're gonna be talking about a specific topic every single time. It won't always happen because if we get to it, we get to it sometimes. If not, it's all good. But tonight we're talking about the conversation around Metacritic scores. Do they matter? Right? So let me just read off this article real quick, this excerpt. So it says in an interview with GameIndustry.biz, everybody pays too much attention to and care too much about Metacritic scores. It's gotten to the point where there's almost a set formula. If you want to get a high Metacritic score, this is how you make the game. Pseudo further explains, I don't see the person's name. I got to double check. Sula further explains, if you've got a game that doesn't fit into the formula, that marketability scope, it loses points on the Metacritic. The bigger companies might not want to deal with that kind of thing. That might not be the main reason, but that's certainly one reason why everyone cares too much about the Metacritic score. And I want to ask the panel right now. We'll start with Tresh. Do you think Metacritic scores are that important?
Metacritic scores are absolutely important.
Yeah.
1,000%. I'll ask you guys a question. Have you ever been very interested in a game, and then the game comes out, and then it has like a 55 on Metacritic? Are you gonna buy that game? I'm not.
No.
No.
Also, reverse roles, a game you've never heard of before, and it just pops up on Metacritic, and it's like a 94. It's like, are you interested? At least interested now? Okay, like, wow, like this game has amazing reviews.
Right.
I think where it doesn't really matter too much is in some of those games that hit like anywhere between like this like 7 and maybe like 8.5.
Yeah.
Those games of like, and I've played like almost every Assassin's Creed, but like I'll just use them as an example. Like those Assassin's Creed games where like they kind of like fell into a formula and they kind of like hit their stride, and it was kind of just the same thing that they're releasing every year. The Call of Duties, those games where it's like that they might still get like an 82 or something, but they might not be like a quote unquote good game or what you're looking for. And that's where I think the more of like the community score comes into play. And I think, and that too sometimes has to be taken with a grain of salt, because then you get people who will go in and like review bomb because they like either don't like the company or they don't like the politics or like whatever, all that bullshit that happens. So bringing all that back to just say, yes, I think 100% that it does have at least somewhat of an impact in games. And if you're trying to make a purchase decision, like I'm not going to go on there and buy a game that's in like the 50s. If I like was just intrigued with it before and I have no idea what it is, like, yeah, I'm definitely going to look at the reviews and see what problems people are having with things and whatnot. So,
Artist, how about you?
I think that what he said was pretty spot on. If especially with the things like 2K, if it has an 80, like you can't really trust that. Look to the community reviews, and also I'm the kind of guy where if I'm interested in a game, I will typically watch videos and try to figure out exactly how the gameplay mechanics work to see if it actually works. I hate to say this, but I'm the kind of guy where a lot of games straight up just do not stimulate me. They just don't.
Yeah.
If the combat is repetitive or too easy, Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't even stimulate me, and I am the heartless, like, you know. So, definitely got to figure out for yourself if the games are for you. But I know what he's saying. If you see a game on it that's a 55, like if Stellar Blade came out this year and it was a 55, we're asking questions.
Right.
Sure. You know. If there's a game that you never heard of before and it's sitting at a 94, like he said, you're gonna be like, what is it? Especially if you see it there and then you see it somewhere else, like in a YouTube video, and you're like, oh, I'm hearing about this game now. All of a sudden, that Metacritic score is gonna add some legitimacy, and you're gonna look into it further. So
yeah, that's true. Mori, what about you?
Yeah, it's so funny. As soon as Trez started going, I was like, I got him right where I want him. And he said it right away. He's like, yeah, but in that like middle range, like for me, it's like high 60s to low 80s. I feel like that's fair game. I feel like you're just playing ball there. Prime examples in that kind of range of numbers, right? You have Concord sitting at a 62. I obviously do not think Concord is a 62, right? You have Days Gone at a 71. I think Days Gone is much higher than a 71. And then you have something like Death Stranding at an 82, but Death Stranding for a lot of people is far lower than an 82. I feel like when you get into that range, you get like a really different sort of answer from everybody.
Man's got receipts.
Yeah. Oh, this was on the fly. I had an idea of where all those were on Metacritic, and I was on the money. So I got one in each category because I'm Himothy Neutron. But with that said, no, I do think that Metacritic scores matter, though. I think what Trez said is so good. And that's that, yeah, if I look up a game that I was excited about and I see a 55, I'm not buying that shit. There's just no way.
Agreed.
I think
dropping off my radar like immediately.
It would actually end up a topic on the show.
Yeah,
pretty much how bad it was.
Now, something I do think Metacritic, as time goes on, becomes more and more inaccurate. I think that what gamers value 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like I would love to see what Dead Rising reviewed at on Metacritic. I imagine it was high 80s. I think today that review means nothing. So I think a lot of times Metacritic matters for the near future, or sorry, the near past. But I don't think that once you get past that 10-year mark, that 15-year mark, I don't think Metacritic is reliable anymore.
Because it doesn't age
personally.
well. It doesn't age
Exactly.
well. I get what
Exactly.
you're saying.
Yeah, but then
It
you
makes
got to
sense.
put yourself back in the shoes of like
that
back
time
then.
period.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Because like and there's some people who can't play old games. Like I can go back and play if I know what I'm getting into. I played The Witcher 1. That game is fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
And I beat it. But like I knew what I was getting myself into, and I think you have to set the bar, especially when you're going back and playing old games. Like you
Right.
have to know exactly what you're getting into, and going in with that mindset and being like, okay, these controls are going to be dated. It's not going to be what you're used to now. I think if you understand what the game did at the time that it came out, you can still kind of see that score.
Right.
And Dead Rising was an 85 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's actually
Wow,
a
interesting.
dope idea
Yeah,
for
yeah.
us to do. That
Guess the
is actually a
Metacritic?
dope. Not guess the Metacritic, yes, but we should also do like I guess you could call it like a retro review kind of thing where we go back to playing older games and see based on the review it had, the review score it had then, if it still holds up now. So we wouldn't look at the review scores until you play the game to completion, and then you give your own review just so it doesn't it doesn't alter your opinion because
Sure.
that's prone to
But
happen.
how are we what perspective are we going to put ourselves in? Is it going to be, would I pay $60 for this game today, or
It wouldn't even be about the price point. It would be just you're just focused on the mechanics, the gameplay, everything else. Yes, you would kind of I don't know. That would be tricky. That part would kind of be tricky to put yourself in that
what perspective?
mindset of the
Would
era.
this get an 85 today, or
Yeah,
knowing what I know
Yeah, pretty
now,
much.
would I?
yeah, pretty much. I guess you would have to kind of gauge it on today's expectation.
Then
Like
that's
how
not
it
really
holds up.
fair. That's not
Yeah,
really
how
fair
so?
then.
Yeah, how it holds up. No, some games like you can play some games that came out 10 years ago today. GTA 5, perfect example. People
Sure.
are playing GTA 5 today. Do
I
you
was
think
playing the
score changes?
original Super Mario Brothers on my my Steam Deck yesterday.
And
It's
how
because
was it,
I had like 20 minutes to kill, and I was like, this is an easy game that like I've played a million times in my life. Yeah, it was great. Like looking back on it, I mean,
Case in point. Case
that
in
game
point.
came out
There's
before
some
I was
games-
born.
Bro, case and point. There's even like the old Metroid games that I play on Switch, like Super Metroid. I'll play that game right now, and I have so much fun. And that to me, that game's a 9 or a 10 out of 10.
Sure.
So some games
Man,
just
finish
hold
up Breath
up.
of the Wild, please.
I
Nah,
am gonna
for
finish
real.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Some games
that
just
needs to
hold
get
up
done.
really well.
He is a
So we need to
fraud,
do that.
a full flake.
He's a phony, a big
That's
fat
crazy.
phony. Nah, I'm gonna get it done. It's just like Tress said. I'm really enjoying the game. I'm taking the slow route in this game, and I'm just fully just like, because that's my offline game. That's the game I play
Sure.
offline when I'm not streaming anything of that nature. That's my game. I just turn on Breath of the Wild and I just explore the world. I think I only have like Ganon to fight now, bro. I'm pretty
Wow.
much
Man,
done.
you
It's
spoiling the
just
game.
I'm not ready.
Spoiling the game.
I'm not. No, but everybody knows that you're gonna fight Ganon at the end of the story. Like, come on, that's
Yeah.
not even a spoiler.
You spoiling the game, man. It only came out 6 years ago.
It's
Yeah,
7,
right.
and I think 7 has to be the line where we tell you
That's
it's
the
your fault.
threshold.
Exactly.
7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna say
yeah.
I
spoiler
thought it was
alert
like
at that
2
point.
weeks. I thought it was like 2
2
weeks.
weeks,
We were doing
yes.
the bit.
Nah, we're not.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying Zelda. But like what I said, we should definitely do something like that. That'd be super cool. Like play a game that came out at a specific time and see if it holds up really well today.
Sure.
Interesting concept. But yeah, overall. So we're saying some people are saying Metacritic score don't matter. So I have a weird perspective when it comes to this. Yes, I think it matters, but I think that people get hung up way too much on the Metacritic score sometimes. And that is also an issue. There seems to be people that don't realize that this is an actual like an aggregator. So it's a collection of other reviewers from across the internet that come together and then gives this game its ultimate score, right? And I've heard like situations that has come up before where people are saying like Metacritic are they're boosting like the reviews of games, like the games being rated higher or lower because they're either suppressing reviews or they're thing. So us as people that are checking these reviews should do our due diligence. We have to read through if we're gonna check I guess you could say fan reviews, we kind of have to like think about just what people are talking about, think about the situation at hand, and then also check out actual reviewers. No actual reviews, but you guys know what I mean, like official reviewers. If you look at those two and then you gauge it, because sometimes they're completely off the mark. Sometimes like reviewers like IGN, they'll be completely off the mark when it comes to reviewing a game. And then the fan base will explain to you that, nah, they don't agree with this. And sometimes it's vice versa. They love the game and fans hate the game. So it's just like, you have to kind of like do your own due diligence. That's the only thing I can say.
You also have to remember there's all those publications, like Xbox has like 4 of them. And like a prime example is when Hellblade Senua's Saga came out, they put it at like a 9.5. And then everyone else was like, this game's probably a 7. It's inflated. And
it's not real.
Yeah, and that's included in those Metacritic reviews. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like us as like observers need to stop and pay attention and just make our educated guesses. We got to do our due diligence, like I said. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that segment. So we are kind of in an agreement here. Metacritic score do matter. Chat, we'll extend that to you guys as well. You know what we should do? Do you guys want to make that the question of the week? It could be a yes or no, and then they can put their own like answers in the comment section. This probably be the first time we've ever done a comment driven poll. There's be a yes or a no, and then they'll explain why they put their yes or a no in the comment section. What do you guys think about that?
I love it. Let's do it.
Yep.
I like that. All right, let's move on. Do you guys want to do that section first before we get to our other segment? That special segment that we got planned. What do you want to do? Do you want to do a rapid fire or a special segment first?
If we can do rapid fire, let's do rapid fire. Let's do
rapid. Let's rapid fire. Mori, it's between you or Heartless. Rock paper scissors and shit. Like, come on.
All right.
Heartless, do you want to go rapid fire? Go rock paper scissors. Let's go. Who's gonna do it? Rapid fire.
All right. Who's calling it?
I am.
All right.
Rock paper scissors. Say shoot.
What? Whoa! Hold on. Just do 3, 2, 1, please.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Again. Go again. 3, 2, 1. Go.
All right, Heartless, that's you. All right,
Heartless is you.
Oh wait, so
and to what I said in the chat, no rollback. I'm done.
That's what I'm saying, bro. All right, so y'all want me to do the rapid fire stories?
Yes, go.
I thought I was playing to not do them.
Yeah, you're doing.
Just kidding. All right, anyway, so the first one we got coming up is World of Warcraft is bringing back old anniversary rewards for the first time in 15 years. Anyone got anything to say about that?
No.
Okay, forget about it. Netflix adds Civilization 6 and Street Fighter 4 to its games lineup.
I'm actually excited for that, and I'm going to be checking that out.
We have to check that out in the future.
I just have a quick question.
Yes.
How do you play games on Netflix? Do you have a controller?
I guess you have a Bluetooth if you have a Bluetooth controller.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I needed. We can continue on.
You're there. Next one in the lineup, Capcom confirms the Marvel vs. Capcom Collection Physical Switch Edition is a code in a box in Europe. NA in Japan will get a cartridge. That is absolutely disrespectful.
Bro, imagine buying the Marvel vs. Capcom Physical Edition and you get a code. You got the case. You get the case.
Worst part is knowing other people got the cartridge. That's the worst part. Call me
got the case,
evil, but that's the worst part.
You got the case,
I'm gonna
bro.
suffer, we're all suffering.
Yeah, that's the physical. You got the case. That's it. That's the physical.
Crazy.
Wild.
This means though, eBay will be seeing eBay is gonna have games in the future going from country to country simply because people want cartridges. We're gonna see an uptick of games selling on eBay like that. Next part, Concord director steps down. Future of the game remains unknown. I'm not surprised. Any thoughts?
So no, I actually have that one thought. So we talked about it pre-show that there's a rumor that Concord took 400 million to make. Mori, I know you are a lot more informed on this particular subject than any of us here are. So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to extend this to you, Mori. What are your thoughts about this? Because this was coming from Colin Moriarty, which is from Last Stand Media. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, much love to Colin. Pretty much raised me into being a PlayStation fan, but I think he's totally fucking wrong. Like, I think he's totally off, and I think his source doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. In regards to the Concord director stepping down, whoever the head of marketing is at Sony needs to step down while they're at it. That's number one. Number two, the 400 million, no way. The publisher that owned Firewalk before Sony bought them, someone took a look at their funding. This is from Tom Warren, a great games journalist. He basically said, when you look at the funding of that entire publisher, the number was nowhere close to $200 million spread out across all of their games. So it's actually impossible for 200 million to have gone into Concord before it got over to Sony. So I don't believe that. So no, it's the rapid fire section. So I'll stop there. The answer is no. Concord did not cost $400 million to make. No shot. No shot.
Agreed. Any more thoughts?
That's it. We're good.
Okay. Next one. Tetsuya Nomura says he's considering retirement and concluding Kingdom Hearts story. My guy, that thing is still going? Okay. That's all I gotta say there. Anyways, police sees $50 million worth of fake. I thought I was gonna say drugs. Fake retro games and consoles.
This is a video game podcast.
I was confused.
Why?
I was so confused. I was like, "What's happening here? I'm being set up,
bro." I thought it was going to say $50 million worth of baby oil with everything that's been coming out about our guy P. Diddy. I mean,
this is a gaming podcast. What?
He got a good deal on the baby oil and he took it. I swear.
Yeah,
1,050% off.
That's crazy.
Listen, he has a place to store it. He can get it for like 90% off if he just bought 1,000 of them.
Right.
I mean,
I'll make you guys a deal.
This is not the podcast for that.
No, I'll make you guys a deal. If you guys do, if we get to 1,000 backers on Patreon, we'll do a live casted freak off in honor of P. Diddy as the Gamer Actual group.
How about
we don't endorse this. We don't endorse this.
How about no?
I'm sorry. But wait, hold on. You missed it. You missed something, Heartless. And it's a big deal because if you don't know, my partner is obsessed with Sims. It's the only game she'll play. EA announces that it has no plans for Sims 5. That's an insane
why
story.
would you? But why would you if you can just keep monetizing Sims 5?
Is Sims 4 still like going?
Yeah, Sims 4 is still going. It's still very active.
I was so rapid I skipped one. Maury, thank you for the save.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Poppy.
But yeah, like the game is still active, so I understand why. I understand why they would make a 5. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, bro.
Yeah.
And they're gonna keep milking this. All they're gonna do is probably add more expansions to the Sims universe, the Sims 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame. I don't know. Maybe in like 10 years they'll do it. Maybe that's
probably,
it.
But I don't think they're in a rush to that. Speaking of Sims, did anybody ever play like Civilization, like Sim City?
No.
I used to play Sim City like way back in the day. In like the 90s.
I used to play it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not big on the new ones, but I used to play those back in the day. But yeah. All right, guys. So here we actually have a new segment that we want to try out. That we're very close to the Game Awards. The Game Awards is in like a month and a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right about that, guys? Please help me out here.
Isn't it December?
First week of December. Yeah.
December. So yes, 2 weeks away. 2 months away. 2 months away. So we had this, let's call it for a sake of lack of a better term, game that we wanted to try. We're gonna go And depending on how this goes, we can actually have other guests come on and kind of do the same thing here. So let's do it. And so pretty much we're going to list a few games, and then once it's being called out, our guest and the other panelists will rate the game. Where would this game sit in terms of like nomination? Would it be game of the year? Will it be 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5? Sounds good. Am I missing
Yeah.
anything else? I don't think we are.
No, you're
Right.
on the money.
All right. So this game is called Roulette. Basically, it's gonna be called the Game of the Year Roulette. I'm gonna list a bunch of games, and once I do that, it's gonna get locked in. Once we say those names, it's locked in. So that means Trez is gonna have his list. We're gonna have it recorded. Maury's gonna have his list. Heartless will have his list, and I will have my list. Right. And then by the end of the year, once we get to the Game Awards, we'll go back and review this list and see who is probably closest to getting, you know what I mean, getting the Game of the Year or the nomination. Sounds
Tough.
fair?
Yeah.
All right,
And
cool.
if our list is identical,
Mhm.
that's got to be a pizza. If our list is identical to the nominees, we got to get a pizza.
Yeah. So it's a pizza bet at the end?
Oh, yeah, it's a pizza bet. If you get
Pizza bet?
if your list of 5 is in the nomination, like all 5 of them are in the nomination,
We got to group fund you a pizza.
Mhm.
yes.
Here's the
Yes.
thing. There's a running gag here, by the way, guys, because Germ and Maury owe me a pizza. At this point, I
No.
don't even remember what they owe me a pizza for because
I
it's
don't
been so
either.
long.
Yeah.
And now they're saying Astrobot might be Game of the Year.
Oh, not
We've
my
had this-
chance.
Not
No
my
chance.
We've had this conversation for multiple episodes and also behind the scenes. And I say no shot. So they're
wow.
saying this is a pretty much, if this wins, the pizza bet is either canceled out or I have to send them a pizza.
Yes.
There's
Trez.
I just want to bring this up. I'm just looking in the past 3 years, there has actually been 6 Game of the Year nominations.
6?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
We could do it up to 6
Ooh.
then.
We can
We
go
gotta
up
put
to
it
6 then.
6.
We can go up to
Yeah.
6 then. So we're gonna get
Yeah.
into those games. I'm gonna list the game, and then you guys just tell me where that game sits for you. Cool.
Okay.
So this list will be comprised of games that are already released and games that are on their way to be released, but it's still very high on the predictions here for Game of the Year, or at least getting nominated. Sounds cool?
Sounds good.
All right, so let's start. Astrobot, Maury.
Number 1.
So I'm gonna keep going with you, Maury. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Number 2.
Helldivers 2.
Number 6.
Number 6. Okay. Black Myth Wukong.
Not on the list.
Damn. What?
Not on the list. Not on the list.
Wow. Space Marine 2. Now we're gonna have a conversation after this. Space Marine 2.
3.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
4.
Stellar Blade.
Not on the list.
Animal
No shot.
Well.
I think that's number. Sorry, if I said I put Animal Well at 5, and that's my 6.
So so you're good. I'm not asking you anything else after that because you already filled out your list. So we're gonna move on to Trez. Trez, you should have been first. My apologies. I
All
just kinda
good.
jumped the gun there.
How
So
dare we?
here's where we're gonna go over it again.
I just
Trez.
want to make this known. These are
Yeah.
not games that I enjoy or think should be. This is what my prediction is
There we
going to
go.
be.
That's
Same.
very fair,
Same.
Trez.
This is
Very
what
fair,
I think
Trez.
is going to be predicted for the nominations for.
Unlike some other panelists that just list off a bunch of games that
I haven't even
nobody
played
gives a
Dragon's
fuck
Dogma 2
about.
or Final
Anyway,
Fantasy. No.
Moving on.
No.
All right,
It's a
Trez,
witch hunt.
Astrobot.
2.
Trez, Astrobot.
Wait. Yeah, I have it at 2.
Oh.
Cool. Wow. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I think that's going to be Game of the Year.
Wow.
Helldivers 2.
Pass. I don't think it's going to be on the list.
I can see that. Black Myth Wukong.
I have that at 3.
Wow.
Space Marines 2.
I have that at 5.
Dragon's Dogma 2.
Not on my list.
Whoa.
Damn. Stellar Blade.
Not on my list.
God damn. Animal Well.
I have that at 4.
Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
I have that at 6.
That's your 6, right?
Wow.
Yep.
He's not getting a pizza.
He's not getting the pizza for sure. Get his ass out of here. Get him out of here.
Brother,
We'll
this
see.
guy stinks.
Lock it in.
Remember, guys,
got you written
lock
down.
that in. Please, we're gonna have those lists because we're gonna go back to it. Yo, I hopefully by that time, I don't know what your guys' schedules are, but I would love for us to come together and watch the Game Awards like we did Summer Games Fest. Because
Oh, that'd
that
be
would
great.
be phenomenal, bro.
Mm.
I don't know. Trez is a busy man. We'll know. We'll figure it out. We'll talk more
I'll-
about that.
I'll be
behind
there.
the scenes. Bro, it's locked in. Let's go. All right, Heartless, we're gonna go with you, and then somebody else is gonna ask me that question afterwards. So Heartless,
Okay.
let's start with you. What's up?
Before I ask Cash that question,
Mhm.
I'd like to point out our producer Germ has his list set up with
Oh,
Astro
there we
Bot
go.
being number 1,
Wow.
Final
Man.
Fantasy 7 Rebirth being number 2, number
man.
3 being Wukong, number
Insane.
4 being Animal Well, 5
Fair.
Helldivers, 6 Dragon Age.
Fair.
My
Fair.
man is smoking crack. Get that shit out of here.
Yo,
I
that's
would
the
love
best
to
You
list.
guys the real list from somebody just like looking at people all over social media and seeing how games are being received. I'm gonna give you guys the list. Okay, this is the official list. It's not even a prediction. This is from the future, straight out of the Heartless's mouth. Anyways,
All right, let's see. Heartless, let's go.
Black Myth Wukong is going to take Game of the Year.
Smoking dick.
I wanted to
Smoking
put it there. I
dick.
really did.
It's
Wow.
going to take it. It's simply going to take it.
You
Dick.
think so? All
Yes.
right, so that's your number one. All right,
That's my number
Astrobot.
1. Okay.
Astrobot.
Astrobot, get that shit out of here. Number 2 is gonna be Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
What about Helldivers 2?
It's not even on the list.
Damn, Space
It's not
Marines
even
2.
on the list.
Space
Number
Marines 2.
3 is gonna be Stellar Blade.
Insane. This guy smokes dick.
Yo,
every
listen,
day.
we're just
No.
talking about how I'm telling you, I'm making the people's predictions.
No,
Number
bro.
3 is
No,
going to be
bro.
Stellar Blade. Number 4 is going to be Space Marines 2. Although I personally think I would enjoy Space Marines 2 more than Dragon's Dogma and probably Final Fantasy. Okay.
Okay.
So I gave you guys 4, right?
Yes.
And I got to give you 6.
6.
Yeah.
All right. Astrobot coming in. Actually, I take it all back. Astrobot comes in before Stellar Blade.
Hold
But
on, bro just put Astrobot out of the race and then ran back his pick.
and
Hold
put him
on,
back,
what?
yeah.
Reason why? I'm gonna give you guys reason why. Animal Well and
Lorelei.
Laser Eyes. How do it's Lorelei? It's Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. I
Mhm.
don't know. I have not seen consumer hype around those products yet, so I don't know. And I would probably have to say after Stellar Blade is going to be Helldivers 2. That is the list. That is
Okay.
the official list.
Now this was messy, so let me get it from you one more time. We have Wukong
Yes.
at number 1. We have
Wukong
Final
1.
Fantasy. Okay, Final Fantasy 7 2.
Correct.
And then you're putting Astro at number 3.
No.
Stellar
no.
Blade.
Wait.
Stellar Blade. You're putting
No,
Stellar
I
Blade at
put-
3.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Remove Stellar Blade. It's gonna be
This is such a shit show, Heartless.
it's
You're
gonna be
such a
Space
shit
Marine
show.
2
This
at number
man is-
3. Space Marine 2 at number 3. It's
Feel like
gonna
I need an
be
overlay.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be Astrobot at number 4, Stellar
Okay.
Blade at number 5,
Mm.
and Helldivers 2 at number 6.
Bro's answers changed at least 14 times. I feel like we just disqualify him. I feel like we just get him out of here.
That's
no
the
way.
that's the answer from the future. I was trying to I had to listen up.
Okay, Cash, can I get some sense in here? Can you give me some sense back? Because we've got none right
So
now.
before we start we're gonna start.
Hold on,
at the
listen.
bottom.
Hold on.
Let's start
Hold on. No, we're not doing this. Franco
wait,
said
wait.
I'm spitting facts. Look over here, guys. Franco said I'm spitting facts.
Wow.
What?
But wait.
No.
No, but
Cash, I'm gonna read 'em.
before I'm going. You can read it, Maury, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Astrobot is just 6. Gonna go at 6. So we can
Wow.
start from. Let's start from the top now. Let's go.
Okay. So, all right. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
4.
Wow. Okay. Helldivers 2.
Not on the list.
Black Myth Wukong.
1. Game of the year.
Wow. Space Marine 2.
3.
Okay. Dragon's Dogma 2.
I think that might be on the list. I'm gonna put it at 2 because a lot of people are
Treasure
still talking
smoking
about
dick.
it.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be on the list.
Stellar Blade.
Honest opinion, I don't think it's gonna get nominated.
I don't either. Animal Well. Do you think that makes it in?
Not on the list.
Lorelei.
Wow.
Not on the list.
Silent Hill 2.
Not on the list.
Dragon Age Veilguard.
Yes.
Wow.
What
Are you
number
gonna
is
put
that?
that at your 5 spot?
I'm between Dragon Age or Assassin's Creed, to be honest. One of those two.
Okay.
But
I guarantee you that if you're going between those two, you have a better shot with Dragon Age. I put my soul on it. I would
Yeah.
actually put my soul on that.
yeah, that's why I'm leaning right now.
Okay.
Dragon Age. Veilguard.
Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep,
Okay.
that's the list.
I'm going to read everybody's list back so that you guys can hear just how much dick this panel smokes. All right, everybody. At number the only good list was me and Germs. I had Astra at number 1.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
Wow.
no. I'm excited.
Whoa,
Trez
he
is
said
gonna-
good list and then started off with Astrobot.
Yeah, all right. I had Astra at 1, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at 2, Space Marines 2 at 3, Dragon's Dogma 2 at 4, Animal Well at 5, and Helldivers 2 at 6. Trez had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at number 1, a really fair pick. Astrobot at number 2, Wukong at number 3, Animal Well at number 4, Space Marines 2 at 5, and Lorelei and the Laser Eyes at number 6. Heartless had Wukong at 1, Final Fantasy VII at 2, Space Marine 2 at 3, Astro at 4, Stellar Blade at 5, and Helldivers 2 at 6. Remember, he's had 14 different lists today, so who knows which one was which.
No,
Cash?
you got to play the odds.
No. No, I hate this guy, bro. I hate this guy. Cash had Black Myth Wukong at 1, Dragon's Dogma 2 at 2, Space Marine 2 at 3, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at 4, Dragon Age Veilguard at 5, and Astrobot at 6.
Because it's gonna get nominated. I really feel like it's gonna get nominated.
Do
but I
you
don't think it's
guys
gonna
know
win.
how the Game Award nominations and winners are chosen?
Yeah, it's a collective of journalists in the industry and reviewers.
90% journalists from the industry, 10% public voting, which
Yeah.
is why
My list is going to succeed.
Heartless, your list was all 80s in Metacritic. So if we're going by Metacritic data and by journalistic data, I just don't see those hitting those numbers, which is why I put Final Fantasy up at the top, because I think it was overwhelmingly journalistic positive. So was Astrobot, but I will do a pizza bet that Astrobot does not win.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Astrobot is not winning.
insane. That's insane. I'm sorry. You just took me out saying that Heartless's entire list was in the 80s on Metacritic. That was genuinely the funniest moment of the podcast.
Listen,
I love it here.
Clip that. But I promise you,
Let's run it back.
Well,
No.
I promise you, my list will be more accurate than his. Promise.
Wow.
Promise. We're getting back in the show.
It's
Promise.
Hold up. So Germ, we're gonna bring up Germ from the back room, from the producer room. He's gonna share some thoughts real quick. Germ, what's up?
All right, I got to get up on here, and I got to just go back up my buddy Maury here and say that Astrobot is going to win based solely on the evidence that Trez put out there. The overwhelmingly positive reception for that game, plus the overall positive reviews it's gotten overall, is going to send that game through the roof.
I will
Right
say,
straight to the top.
I had Wukong at 1, And
Yeah,
then
Wukong still that one for me though.
and
And-
then I went onto Metacritic and did my research and
when I
saw
say
that it's
this-
sitting at like an 81 on Metacritic and was like, "There's no way that that's winning game of the year."
When I say
No.
this,
Mm.
I say Astrobot is going to narrowly beat Final Fantasy VII. It's going to be like so close. Those two
I think
games are
so.
like, great. Yeah, but that's it. I appreciate a great show,
Yo,
guys.
Cash, what do you like?
I
on your
just had to
pizzas,
give
bro?
my piece about that.
What do you like
All
on
right.
your pizzas?
Oh,
Cash.
This guy.
pepperoni.
Yo,
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
Listen,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Jer, by the way. Shout out to Jer.
Shout out to Germ. I want to say this. This is my one, like my one thing is like this is something we all have. We all put Final Fantasy VII and Astrobot in our list. That's key. Wukong
Mhm.
did not make all of our lists. Hell Divers 2 did not make all of our lists. I think Space Marines 2 made all of our lists. Here's my one
Mhm.
thing I'm gonna say. If I'm not mistaken, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake did
Mhm.
that win Game of the Year when it came out.
What won last year? I don't think that was
Hold
It was
on.
20
Baldur's
it was
Gate
2020.
3 won
Baldur's
last
Gate
year.
one.
Baldur's
Yeah,
Gate
won.
3
And then
has
remake
a
the
Metacritic
remake.
score, I believe, of like 96.
Mhm.
It's high. It's high. Here's my whole
96.
fair.
Continue. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. You're fine. My whole thing is this. I know that Final Fantasy VII Remake got its flowers when it came out. If I'm not mistaken, God of War 2018 did not win Game of the Year against Red Dead 2. I think Red Dead
No, it
2
didn't.
won in 2018.
Yeah, Red Dead 2 won.
And they still didn't give Ragnarok love in 2022. They ended up giving it over to Elden Ring because Elden Ring did something new, different that we
Mhm.
haven't seen in a long time. Both God of War games, though they were perfect, you could argue they were perfect, both got passed up. I think this race comes down to Astrobot and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but the Game Awards has shown us that no matter how good your games are, just because you got passed up once does not mean you're getting it the second time around. I think that in the same way that God of War 2018 was passed up and then Ragnarok was passed up for Elden Ring because of all it did that was very unique, I think that Remake got passed up. I think Rebirth is going to get passed up, and I think Astrobot is going to get the win this year because of how uniquely
can't
it does
stand
what
this
it does.
man.
I
can't
know.
stand this man.
I know. I'm
It was
analyzing.
logical.
I'm
It
analyzing.
was logical. He did
was
too much
logical.
homework for this little bit. I can't. I don't like it. I don't like it.
That was
You gotta
freestyle,
come in here
baby.
with raw stupidity.
That was freestyle. That was no, Heartless. You got that down, Pat, bro. This list is crazy, but I love you.
In the past 5 years, in the past 5 years, one game has won Game of the Year that was in the 80s and it had a score of an 88. Does anyone want to guess what it is?
Oh God. What? Okay, past 5 years.
Say again?
In the past 5 years, only
Mhm.
one game has won Game of the Year with a Metacritic score of 88. Everything else was 90 or above.
Sekiro.
No.
Ooh, shit.
Ooh, that's a good question. I love this one.
Sekiro was 90.
I love this.
Damn
too.
it. See, I was close. I was so close. Damn it. I was 1 point off. Damn it. 2 points.
When I tell you, you're going to go, oh, yeah.
I think we. I think
takes two?
It takes two.
That's it. Yep. Jerm
Yeah,
got it. He
yeah,
put it in
yeah.
the chat.
Oh, I didn't even see it. I give myself credit. I didn't even see it.
No.
No. Run
No, you
back, roll
spoiled
back
that. You spoiled that bit. That would have been funny for us. You spoiled it though.
Baldur's
Yeah.
Gate had a 90. Someone said Baldur's Gate in the chat. Baldur's Gate had a 96.
Yeah.
That's the highest
Yeah.
rated game, I believe.
It Takes Two. It Takes
is.
Two was so you're right. It Take Two was kind of like a groundbreaking game because it was a breath of fresh air when it comes to like cooperative play,
Yeah.
and that's why it kind of took it. So Mori's onto something here.
It's innovation that wins.
Unfortunately,
It really is
He was
unfortunate.
spitting, and I don't like that.
I don't think
Unfortunately.
Astrobot can beat Final Fantasy. That's why that came down to my like final decision.
I get that. I
Mm.
get that. I do.
Space
Yeah.
Marine's gonna take it.
It's not.
I at this point, I don't know. I really feel like I was leaning more to Wukong at this point, but you know, you guys make a strong case.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll be excited for that pizza. I'll be seeing you guys in December.
No.
it'll be
No.
fun.
The pizza bet is first of all, the pizza bet is whoever gets the list accurate gets a pizza.
No, but it was also a pizza bet for if.
No, there's a
Astrobot
pizza
wins
bet
the-
prior. I had a pizza
Yeah.
bet.
So
with
is
them
it
prior.
is
Keep
it
me out of it.
1 point per game
Yeah.
you have on the list, and then
Exactly.
if you guess the
Game of the year. It's a
game of the year
bonus,
that's
pretty
2
much.
points.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, it's got to
pretty
be more
much.
than 2 points. If you guessed game of the year, it's 3. Gotta be.
But you already get the point because it's on the list. You already get 1 point because it's on the list.
So
So if you
yeah,
get two other points, then that's 2 extra points.
yeah, you
Right.
get 2 extra points for being
So
a
three
genius.
total.
No,
Three total.
he's just being greedy. Fuck out of here.
3 total. Because you know I'm gonna win. You're sick. You think Wukong? What did Wukong? What was it? Was an 80. What did it get on Metacritic?
I think
What
it's
was
like
it at in the
82.
80s?
It's sitting. I
believe
think
it's at 81.
Yeah, I think it's sitting at 82. Wukong. If
There's
I'm not
just no
mistaken.
way. There's
It
just
is
that,
81.
that's impossible.
81.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
impossible. That's impossible. Impossible.
And a 75 on PS5.
That's crazy. And
81 on
Space
PC.
Marines at 82.
Yeah, that's fit. That sounds right. That sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of outlets gave it like 9 though. 9.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Power World came out last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, this is it last year?
Yeah, but Power World's still in
Early
it's
access.
not-
access.
Doesn't-
Yeah,
it
it's still early
technically-
access.
So you guys think Power World, when it releases, if it survives Nintendo's execution style lawyers, do you think that because of its innovation, it will have a chance at Game of the Year, or because they released early and people got to experience it so much that
When it officially drops, if it's gonna get considered, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
don't
not even
know.
going to look at considered. Will the hype around it be dead when if it not like will like the shock factor hype
What
around
would they
it be
do
dead
in an
by the time
official
it's
launch? That's my question. Because like I feel like they've kind of showed their hand in what Power World can do currently. So
Exactly.
the only thing you can do when you launch Power World is just add an expansion.
Yeah, I agree.
That's pretty much it. There's nothing new you could do in that game. I mean, I could be wrong. Hey, shit.
So,
Prove
but
me
when it
wrong.
releases, it'll be an innovative game, and it sold a lot. Will it have a chance of winning Game of the Year? And if it does, and it has a high Metacritic score, could we see a world in which Power World wins?
Does it
Game of
have
the
a
Year?
Metacritic score? I don't think it does because you can't rate a game that is not officially released.
No, I said if it does have a high Metacritic score.
Yeah.
I
does
think you
it? I have to
can.
check.
I think
It
you
does
can 'cause
not. have
It
a
doesn't?
Metacritic
It
score,
doesn't
no.
because I'm pretty sure it doesn't. I'm pretty
That's
sure. I can
crazy.
check
'Cause
right
it's-
now.
'cause
Let me
it's
check
open-
Metacritic.
Yeah, because it's early access.
It's early access. It's not officially out, so you can't rate the game.
So when they
Can't rate
release the game, though, in like let's say what 2025,
Mhm.
will it have a chance to see Game of the
Yep.
Year?
See?
Although that
no
they
rating.
showed their hand 2 years earlier or a year and a half earlier.
I don't
I
think
don't
so
think
because it's
so.
a known quantity.
think so.
It's a known quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also
guys
think
have-
a lot of games journalists are on the boat of it's a ripoff of Pokemon.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are
Wow.
on that boat. For real. When you hear the reporting, like especially when they bring up an article, the image you'll see at the top is them comparing a Pokemon to a Power World character. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Do you think journalism is plagued by journalists who are scared to go against bigger companies?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
So
Especially
anytime they enter a
Nintendo.
conversation like this.
Especially Nintendo. A lot of these journalists are afraid to speak out about Nintendo. Why? Because Nintendo holds the exclusive games. They might not get review copies anymore.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly why.
That's crazy.
That's a real threat. That's a real threat. If you end
Yeah.
up, and especially with how we talked about it today, how gung ho Nintendo is. You think if IGN put something out like really ripping into Nintendo, you think Nintendo isn't petty enough to be like, okay, you're not getting a Switch, any Switch
Yeah,
2s early.
You don't get a Switch 2. You don't get any Mario games. You don't get
Yeah.
any Zelda. You don't get any Metroid.
Nintendo Winfrey in the building.
No, I mean,
You get a
that's the
Nintendo.
reverse.
You get a Nintendo. Yeah, that's the
That's a reverse.
Yeah, yeah. You get a
But yeah,
car. You
bro.
get a car.
Yeah, but that's exactly why. So, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, bro. But yeah, I don't think because at this point, if Power World should officially release, the innovation aspect of that is already gone because they kind of showed their hand early, like I said before.
Yeah.
Because you show what the game was capable of. Had that been like an official release, then it could have been graded on that merit. But you can't anymore because it's been done now, and it's pretty much existed for like a year and change already. So
You also
I
have
get
to
it.
remember it, like just the inherent bias at the Game Awards. Like it's always been a thing that if you release in the first quarter of the year, like your game almost never makes it into that final list because there's
Not
just
true.
too much in recent memory.
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring is a state of the art product. There's nothing touching Elden Ring. I mean, Trez is right. I'm not going to push back.
It's actually a generational product, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I feel like a lot of games in the first half of the year get overlooked when the Game Awards come around. I might be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah, recency bias definitely plays a little bit.
Yes,
into it.
I think so as well. I really do think
Yeah.
so as well. That's why I was concerned about God of War that year, even though they didn't win. Because God of War dropped closer to the end of the year when it came to the Game Awards, and in my opinion, I was like, wait a minute, how did they get nominated? It's too close to the release
It was
to the
so
Game
close.
Awards.
That's why
It
Dragon's
was
Dogma
way
stands no
too close.
chance.
Think so?
I don't think was it good enough, and generally it received very well by consumers.
I think it lost a lot of
defeat
player base
recency
very
bias.
early.
Well, that
Didn't it lose a lot of player base really early?
Yeah,
like it
I
did.
think it did. Yeah, yeah.
that's why I don't think Helldivers is gonna make it, because I think it was so
Yeah.
high. And then
Mhm.
like there's been problems with the game, and the people who are playing it I know are like having issues with it. And I
Not
just
only that, the PlayStation sign up situation as well. The
Yeah.
whole
I don't
Speaking
think journalists care about that, but yeah.
no, hey, but fans did, and I think that also kind of helped with the I guess you could say the public image of the overall game.
Final Fantasy VII as well, January
And
release.
speaking of which, I wanted to bring this up. Just a quick note: the fact that God of War just dropped, Ragnarok just launched for PC last week, and the biggest topic of conversation is actually the client. The fact that people have to log into the PlayStation client in order to play God of War. What are your thoughts on that, real quick, before we, move on?
PlayStation's
No
trying to
thoughts?
expand their ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, yeah, like
I
I
don't see a
understand.
problem with it either. Yeah, I think
No?
Yeah.
people overreact. Yeah.
Yeah. Heartless,
Yeah.
what about you?
Man, I said earlier, I don't really like having multiple clients on my system, on my PC. I'm a PC gamer. You know, I remember I tried to get Halo Infinite years ago to play with my friends. I wanted to get the game. You got to download this client. We got the Blizzard client for Overwatch. We got the Origin client for Apex. It's like and then
Everybody has their proprietary client.
and it's like when you get signed out, all of a sudden you got to figure out what's his password to an account that you created 2.5 years ago, and you don't remember even the email associated with it. Especially being a content creator, it's like you have a bunch of emails and you create a bunch of accounts. It gets old after a while, but I do have to say, if they can keep you logged in, so you don't have to worry about that, and when you click the game, it doesn't pop up the PlayStation. What is it? A PlayStation Plus
Mhm.
client. If it doesn't pop up an extra client on top of my Steam client, then we're chilling. If you just got to
Yeah.
sign in once and have an account like you do when you make Apex, then it's not a big deal.
I'm gonna be real. I'm 50-50, right? Because what I actually love the Ubisoft client, even though it doesn't work for Heartless. But here's the thing: if I play a game on PlayStation or Xbox, they actually have a cloud save that you can pull over. So even if you don't have cross progression, it kind of does now, because you can just pull that save file from that game. Because I have the Prince of Persia: Lost Crown on PC and on Xbox, and I was playing it on PC, and I noticed that I actually have my save file from the Xbox on the client already. Just it's automatically uploaded every single time you play. It's the same thing with X Defiant. It's the same thing with everything else. But I don't know how they do that, but I think it's very good in that regard. I can give it that much. But I do agree with Artless when it says it's like there's too many fucking clients now, bro. Like Jesus Christ, like it's way too much. Way too much. There has to be some kind of balance. One and two, I think there's another way you can do this where it's not as cumbersome as it is right now. Because if you think about the Capcom CFN, we sign in that one time. We don't have to launch
have
our
the answer.
client. We don't have to do any of that shit
I have the answer.
afterwards. What?
Just simple account integration through Steam.
Yes.
All-
There you go. Because it's already there. It's already there. He's right. Because you can actually link your Steam to your PlayStation already.
Yeah.
So that should be just the adage to that.
Yeah.
The problem is the Steam like hard heads are
Mhm.
they don't want to make a PlayStation account. And
Yeah.
that's their argument is like
But I
we
don't
shouldn't
wanna.
have to do, and it's like that's where it's kind of is a little ridiculous.
It
It's
didn't
like,
bother me because I
come on,
already had a
like,
PlayStation
yeah,
account.
it takes
So
2 seconds.
whatever.
Yeah. And I got to be honest, as a Sony pony, I'm like, you're getting some of the best games on the market, and you have to make a fucking login. Get over yourself. Like, I swear to God, like, shut up. It makes me so mad. I can't.
It's
I
ridiculous.
think I think it's also comes down to the fact that they didn't have to before, but now they do, and just that's where the problems are at.
They just want to grow their ecosystem.
Yeah,
Can I blame them?
yeah, but yeah, guys, that was it for tonight's show. But I also have one thing to ask you. Our question of the week. You guys remember what our question of the week is?
Do Metacritic scores matter?
Do Metacritic scores matter? So last week we actually asked a question. We asked a question. Let's see how many people answered that question. I think the question was your favorite James Earl Jones.
Metacritic scores do not matter when you're trying to make an argument against Trez.
We'll see.
They do not.
We'll see.
We'll see.
If
We'll
I was
see
trying to
in
argue,
2 months.
if I was trying to argue with the high score games, then I'd be like, "Yo, this shit matters a lot."
All right, there we go. So here it is. King Joffrey Joffrey, Mufasa,
Wow.
Darth Vader, Terrence Mann. So look. So it's tied up. Holy crap. So it's Mufasa. Of course. I think it makes sense. It makes sense. You know what?
Yeah.
I can rock with this.
This actually,
I can actually, huh?
This actually makes sense.
It does. Mufasa and Darth Vader. Those are his two biggest roles. So, you know, it makes sense. This makes sense. So our question of the week is, do Meta...
He spelled
That's what I
"do"
heard
with 2 O's. And I was
Yeah,
like,
dude.
I was like, this man's thinking doo-doo.
Give your answer in the comment section below. Guys, if you're not following, please go follow the Gamer Actual. I said Bello. Wow. Wow.
That's crazy.
That's wild. That's wild.
Right.
Cash is tired. We
I
got
am tired.
Doo-Doo, Bello.
I mean, didn't you not hear me today, bro?
Random.
You've been
Definitely
moving.
off. I'm
You've been
definitely
moving.
off. Yeah.
I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah. So, yes. See? Look at this shit.
You got it, Cash. You got it.
Yes. No. There we go. That's the question of the week, guys. Please hop on over there. Somebody drop the Gamer Actual YouTube channel in the chat if you haven't already. So that's our question of the week this week. Please give your answers. Appreciate y'all. But like always, guys, tonight was amazing. And that was pretty dope. Pretty dope. And again, we're getting better at this, guys. We're staying closer on the money nowadays. You know what I mean? Shout outs to our producer, Jeremy, as well, for keeping us on task. He's making sure, bro, we stay close to that time mark. We're trying to hit that 2-hour time mark. We're trying to stay into that little comfortable like area in our podcast. So I'm happy. How do you guys feel?
Great episode. Fuck, I love
Yeah.
having Trez on here. Trez, you're
was great.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be a stranger,
Yeah.
please.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I love coming
Yeah.
on.
But we love when you're on, bro. We'll talk. So again, thank you guys for pulling up. Your boy Cash, Heartless, Mori, and the one and only Trezonator. This has been Gamer Actual, episode 31. Have a good night. Peace.
Thank you, Prez.
Thanks, guys.
I only said that so I could just do it for the edit. We're gonna raid out now. Because I noticed at the end of the other podcasts, we just transition out and it just sounds weird. So
Okay.
we're gonna raid out to guys. Tell me. Talk to me.
I was going to say, before
Chat.
we rate out,
Mhm.
Trez, is there anywhere we can find you?
Yes, my bad. My
yeah.
bad. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, you can follow me at Trezonator. I have not really streamed in a while, or done anything with YouTube. But I also have a Mortal Kombat lore channel. If you're interested in learning about Mortal Kombat lore, that is MK Temple at on YouTube. Just search MK Temple, no spaces, they'll show up.
All of that, so it's already locked in on the video. Just so you know, just a heads up.
Oh, awesome.
I plugged everything for Trez already.
Thank you,
under
sir.
MK Temple, all that stuff there. So
Tough.
guys, just go check the description. If you go to YouTube right now, it's there. because the video's live. But yeah, thank you guys again. Who are we rating out to? You want to go to Jake Dutchin? We can
Yeah.
introduce Jake and Trez, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that shit.
All right.
Chat, have a good night. Love y'all. Tonight was awesome. Am I spelling that correctly? Cool.
Thank you, Maury.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get it in. I'm trying to get it in.
Have a good night, chat. I'm just kind of waiting for everybody to hop on the raid before I read out.
Very nice.
Very nice. By the way, I gave us Clip Gold. 1,000 Patreon supporters, and we'll do a live gamer actual for Recall.
Wow.
That's
That's
crazy.
wild.